Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first Martian Monday.
Oh, man. Good one.
Swoosh.
Sky Marketing.
Yeah, I believe we have some exclusive KeyForge previews that are semi-exclusive.
We've got a couple cards to show you from Winds of Exchange. Let me know if everything doesn't sound good or look good.
Hold on.
Barring,
well, the obvious.
My co-host.
First, if you're unaware, KeyForge has been purchased by a new publisher, Ghost Galaxy Games.
A new and familiar publisher,
yeah,
some would
owned
say.
By Christian T. Petersen, the founder of Fantasy Flight Games. He has branched out and he's doing his own thing, but KeyForge acquired it. Last Friday, they launched the Gamefound campaign to bring KeyForge back. That campaign currently is at $408,000 backed. The goal was $50,000.
$408,000 backed?
Yeah, so they're at over 8 times. There's 14 days left of the campaign. And I do believe the game is going to be coming back successfully.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So we had Christian on the podcast last week. You can find that anywhere podcasts are found and our YouTube channel if you want to hear from him a little bit. And it was fun. We did that right the day before their campaign launched. And there was definitely a realistic expectation being set, I think, from Christian. It wasn't overly ambitious or pie in the sky.
Did we get, for the first time, actually get an inside look into the true mind of Christian T. Petersen?
Maybe.
Because you gotta wonder. On Christians, we've chatted with Christian a ton over the course of our existence as human beings. That very first moment when Steve Horvath bombed an interview that we were doing, we were talking about the Star Wars LCG or X-Wing. I can't remember.
At their first World Championship.
Yeah, man. That was amazing. 80 people there.
FFG pre-event center. Like the space they had before the event center that is now the Game Center, which is also owned by Christian T. Petersen now.
It will all be mine again.
Remember it was X-Wing and Netrunner and Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
World Championship. And that they announced we're going to give everyone here an early copy of the new Star Wars card game. It's going to change the world, Star Wars LCG.
Yeah, it did.
And we were unboxing that live. And that's when Steve Horvath walked up, who we know that was a decade ago.
Yeah, and after that, we started having those video interviews with Christian.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the thing about Christian in those interviews, at least, was that at the time...
Mutton Chop saying I'm louder than you.
Yeah, I turned you down just a little bit. Maybe I need to turn me up, honestly.
Turn up.
Because Zach can get real ghosty real quick. Gotta watch out for that. But we started having those interviews with Christian. That was incredible. Just over the years, kind of seeing him, the way that he's changed. But I would say the persona of Christian at FFG was more... I think there was just a different filter on it. I think he had to act as head of that company, founder of that company, and inject maybe a little bit more that marketing energy into it.
Well, I feel like he was not on camera very often. Mm-hmm. So him interviewing with us was very unique at the time. So another difference is we didn't really start interviewing him till 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
And at that point, X-Wing and Netrunner had come out. And I think that was revolutionary for FFG. Mm-hmm. Those games made them very successful. So when we're interviewing him, he's in the midst of great success. And with Ghost Galaxy, he's starting over. Mm-hmm. This is not a known publisher. This is not, obviously, he has a certain amount of success and credibility behind him. But when we're talking to him, I feel like it's coming from a different... And we were never talking to him on the eve of launching a campaign for a game.
Yeah.
It was always in November at World Championships, after big games had come out, and FFG was incredibly good at launching games.
Yeah, it's true.
From Gen Con till October, November when a game released, if you go back to Star Wars LCG even, X-Wing Netrunner had incredible launches all the way through Conquest. And
they used to own Gen Con.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was
they
a real
were
thing.
the thing. All the way to KeyForge, exceptional launch through the end of 2019. But here we are on KeyForge.
I mean, it really does so Christian in the interview, when we were talking to him, he seemed way more comfortable than ever. He seemed way more comfortable, way more candid. He was actually just having a genuine conversation. There wasn't any of that kind of I don't know, kind of that secondary noise that can come up in an interview where you're not quite sure where the lines are and what to say and what you can't say. He was effectively an open book, and I think he was just giving his actual take, which when you're heading FFG and there's all that pressure involved in that, I think you have to be pretty cheery and pretty much like, yeah, we're going to have great success all the time. But I think that what we saw in that interview was Christian actually like, yeah, like I never know if this stuff is going to work really. Like I'm trying to make a great product. I'm trying to get these games out there, but it makes me think that when they first launched KeyForge, he may have been like, I don't know if this is going to go anywhere. First launched Destiny, I don't know if this is going to go anywhere.
And the initial reaction to Destiny was very poor.
Yeah.
So but my point, I guess, is we never interviewed Christian right before they announced Destiny.
Yeah.
Right? Or right
True.
We were always interviewing him after launch, which is
yeah, and it's like, yeah, we knew this was going to work all along.
That said, Mutton Chop asking, are we going to still have a relationship with KeyForge moving forward?
Yeah. Absolutely, we are. So what's crazy is, we had the KeyForge subscription from the very beginning, and we hadn't canceled that sub. We had talked about it a few times. And then KeyForge was announced as coming back with Ghost Galaxy. So all of the current KeyForge subscribers that have been subscribed the whole time, all of the subscribers are still subscribed to KeyForge. We're going to serve Winds of Exchange, the first release from Ghost Galaxy, in that. They did raise the MSRP of that product to $12.99 a pack, so we reflected that in the price of all current subscribers and obviously future subscribers as well. There will be emails going out about that, or an email going out to old, I would say, KeyForge subscribers, basically people who have been on that subscription since the last release, which is not Winds of Exchange, the one before it. What is that? What we're playing? Dark Tidings?
Dark Tidings.
So anyone who's still been on that subscription, you're still good to go. The price has been updated. We've got an email going out about all the conventions around that and what you should expect, but it's going to function like you would know.
And important to note, we also added a subscription for the adventure products, which are the cooperative PvE scenarios that they did print and play last year from FFG. They're actually printing them. They had some available at Gen Con. Based on what Christian said in the interview, those should actually be hitting retail soon. So if you're a subscriber or want to be a subscriber, you can get those. It sounded like in the next 4 to 8 weeks was the expectation.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's also an option to add on your game if you're doing a Gamefound campaign, but I don't know when those are going to ship. So if someone was texting me on the community texting platform about that, and I would expect if you do it through the Gamefound, it won't ship until the campaign is shipping. And if you do it through a subscription, it should be available in the next 4 to 8 weeks.
Should be.
I don't know. I don't have confirmation. That's just what he was saying in the interview. Also, some really nice commentary coming in. Michael saying, hello, everyone. So great to see KeyForge coming back and being covered by my favorite channel.
Ah, Michael, that's great.
Appreciate that. And someone said something earlier I want to find.
And who was it that said Christian was so nice? Look at that.
Brant saying, Christian is so nice. Went to Con of Heroes in May at the Game Center, and he chatted and gave me a full tour of the facilities for 45 minutes.
That's so awesome. Yeah, that's the kind of guy Christian is.
I'd like to get a tour on video.
Yeah, that would be tight.
Apparently, they did some big Game Center, or are doing them now, updates.
Nice.
And then also, he had mentioned potentially doing the printing facility and stuff. So that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. Now that we've got Christian 2.0, man,
that's right.
Bets are off.
He's ready to roll.
To do anything, say anything.
Van saying, "Sup, fellas? That means we can officially start."
Yeah, absolutely.
There was someone that said, "Let me find it real quick." Ryback, not a fan of KeyForge myself, but I did enjoy listening to the podcast over the weekend. Check this out. High Frequency Monkey Man.
Oh, well, this is a reliable source.
2 absolute legends. Found you through Netrunner, and I am loving your content.
Awesome.
Thank you for being here.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks. That's really nice to say. Legends, huh?
Kaio, hello, guys. New set is going to Brazil. I don't think we ship to Brazil, right?
Do we not? They have a weird postal thing going on, I think.
Yeah. Things get lost in the mail easily, and if they do end up in the weird system, they just burn it. Literally.
They actually literally do that, yeah.
Yeah, I think they just...
That's real.
So we stopped doing that. But whether or not it's coming through Brazil, I do know on the Gamefound campaign, they have stretch goals that are happening. And let me look at this real quick. Let me just verify. So
messing the audio a little bit too, if anyone's worried.
If they hit $500,000, which they're not far away from, they're going to make it available in French, German, Italian, Polish, and Spanish.
Okay.
And if they hit $750,000, they're going to make it available in Chinese, both traditional and simplified, Korean, Portuguese, and Thai.
Okay.
So...
yeah, I mean, maybe that's the thing. You know what is cool though? Fab's doing Brazil now. Boom!
I did see that. Yeah,
cool. Flesh and Blood's going to Brazil, so you can check that out. I don't know, but talking to Christian about localization, it sounds like just if we have the cash to do it, we will. So how it gets distributed past that, who knows? Like Asmodee and I don't know how much control. I think Christian has control over localization, can make the products, but how they're getting distributed is not something we really know anything about.
And I do know international distribution is tough.
Yeah, and it's a lot. And like, I don't know. I think as a publisher, you have to actually weigh that and say like, having a totally new product line in a specific language, how much do I actually have to sell to make that worth it? That's a really valid question. So I think for this first set, Christian's basically saying if there's enough interest, like we can make that happen, but
I do think
it's difficult.
One of the nice upsides that they can leverage with KeyForge is the print on demand. So usually one of the restrictions is you have to print a certain quantity before it makes any sense to print at all. But if you can just print 1,000 decks in this language, like that's actually super nice.
That's very true. Okay, so what are we doing today? I'm glad you asked. We're playing Dark Tidings. Jack and I are going to open up a new Dark Tidings X and play a game. We're going to show you some Winds of Exchange previews. We're going to talk about the Gamefound campaign. That's essentially what we have planned today.
That's the tour, the agenda.
Do you want to just get the previews going?
Yeah, sure.
Let's just see what we got. I mean, it's nothing terribly fancy. It's just the new cards.
Ultima is saying, just got to say, I used your How to Play video to learn KeyForge back in the day before Call of the Archons even came out. Been into the game since its release. Love you guys. Well, hey, love right back at you.
Love you too.
Super happy to hear that. Probably. This is interesting. Alex saying, did you guys see the new stretch goal they just added? New anomalies and sending out cards from the 7th set to backers.
Yeah, the anomaly thing is cool. The anomaly thing is great. That's where they bring in cards from the future to the current. Does that make sense? Like next set comes into this set.
So if they hit 450,000, which 14 days, we have to imagine they're going to. Not only will they reveal the title of the next KeyForge set, past Winds of Exchange, but all backers will receive an exclusive preview package containing 3 preview cards from the next set of KeyForge pulled randomly from a pool of exclusive preview cards.
Beautiful.
But there's more. One particular randomly pulled preview card will be made only in 250 copies, each personally signed by Richard Garfield, designer of KeyForge.
No way.
And
wow, look,
one more thing.
Christian knows collectible. What's he talking about? This is a guy from LCGs. He knows.
He went through the 2000s. Game of Thrones was a collectible game, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Last but not least, 5 preview cards will be produced in only 1 copy, meaning 5 random backers will each become the sole owner of an exclusive one-of-a-kind preview card. These cards will also be signed by Richard. To top that off,
no, come on.
There's more.
There's more.
When do I get a free house? Like, at what point does that show up?
I'm still waiting for my office chair. My house office chair, whatever they did. It's just crazy.
I do think
it's just crazy.
Think about the marketing potential if they wanted to send us office chairs to use that were the KeyForge office chairs every day.
The problem with that, Zach, is we just wouldn't. We wouldn't use them, is the thing.
If they were good enough, I would use it. If they're comfy enough.
No way, man. I wouldn't be caught dead in a KeyForge branded office chair. You kidding me? No way. Like, that's not... nobody can associate that much with office chair is supposed to be nice and neutral and clean and nice.
What do you mean by neutral?
I'm not making a statement with my office chair.
I don't need to be loud. If you had a black office chair that had a logo back there...
What, just a little, like, KeyForge logo right here? Why not? I'll take the Nalgene logo before I take the KeyForge logo.
We should actually probably talk to our sponsor, Nalgene, first. On that note, it's important to remind everyone out there, if you're going to be sitting there watching us for a couple hours, don't forget to hydrate, because we all know if you hide your brain, you hide your life.
You can hide your life. That's right. They're gaming chairs, not office chairs. And Tabletop Royale says my logos chair is great.
Hey, can you post a picture of that in our Discord? I just want to see what it looks like. Thank you. Final thing, to top that off, we will also ensure that the software programmers do the extra work required to make anomaly cards appear in Winds of Exchange. Anomaly cards are rare cards from future sets. Cards that will appear in the next set of KeyForge after Winds of Exchange.
You know what's weird about that is that means the next set has at least some work done on it, or will have some work done on it before Winds of Exchange is printed.
Well, they're going to have a name and anomalies.
Yeah, true.
I think, so little story time before we dive into the previews. I know.
My gosh, can we just get them? Let's just do them real quick.
You see your, Galax saying your mic sounds like you're low to off, distant, echoish.
Okay, hold on a second.
No, you don't just give them the previews. That's why they're here.
Why does
you just string them along. You know, it's like.
Is anything pressed in here?
You ever see those like treasure hunter things where it's like, or the Storage Wars, and they'll find like a safe, and it's like, what's in the safe? And they'll cut to commercial. That's what our previews are. We just got to keep. Well, I don't even think we're revealing the previews today. Don't tell people at home.
Yeah, here, give me those headphones. Zach, let's start with preview number 1, and then I'll I'll listen to myself. Oh, this is going to be weird. Talk for me, Zach.
I'm talking. Can you hear me?
The mic is not on at all.
Is it plugged in? Genetic Blast. Cost to 0, like every card in KeyForge. Make an amber when you play it. Play, deal 2 damage to a creature and each other creature with the same name as that creature. I like this flavor text. Got them right in the chromosomes. This is interesting. How often there are a bunch of creatures with the same name out. Although the whole token mechanic might make this more relevant, right? Because every card can come in as a token. So I assume that's why this makes a lot of sense.
All right, Zach, we're going to do some troubleshooting while you're over here.
It's really difficult to talk and have you guys, because I can feel the urgency over here. So it's like I shouldn't be talking. I should just be paying attention.
So this is good. I mean, this is all set up correctly.
Yeah, it looks like I do know a little bit of what I'm doing because everyone in chat is saying it hits the tokens, which is what I was saying this is useful for. So that makes a lot of sense to put in this set. Of course, this set, like having this card in a meta that includes more than this set, gain an Ember, do 2 damage to a creature is not a bad card, but definitely really good against the tokens. A grand student saying, but how many tokens will have 2 or less power? Good question. This is a common, so there will also be decks that have 2 of these in the same deck. So you could imagine doing 4 to all tokens would be pretty rad. That's right, Michael. There's also the rat decks from, I forgot what set that even was. So yeah, there's definitely use of this. Anything that gains an amber and does damage to a creature is probably good value.
Have you showed him the previews yet?
Tanuki saying, well, we have one on the screen.
Oh, good.
Saying he's just here for the chicken art. I agree. Is that a chicken in that art? Is that what that is?
That sounds better. That sounds a lot better.
Chickens with arms and armor? Armored chickens?
Get a big reach for it.
Tabletop Row saying posted the chair pics in our Discord channel. I'm excited to check that out. I didn't know they actually existed.
All right, that should sound better. Does that sound better?
A little bit like unicorns.
Hopefully that sounds better.
You see the baby card?
Yeah, genetic blast. Deal 2 to a creature and each other creature with the same name as that creature.
So this is. Do you know how the token mechanic works?
Wait a minute. Is there a token mechanic in this one?
In this set.
What is it?
There's a token mechanic.
What does it do? What does it do?
Yeah, so basically, decks come with the token in this set, every deck.
Okay.
And then there are abilities that create tokens, and token is the top card of your deck goes face down as a creature, that it matches that token. So you have one copy of the token over here to know what it does. And then these cards come face
just
down.
A reference. Okay, so they use face down. Okay.
So this does 2 damage, like if you have 5 of your tokens out, it would do 2 damage because they're all the same creature.
Oh.
That's why this is. Because like there's not a ton of times when you have a bunch of the things with the same name.
I understand. Yeah.
But this is particularly good into, you have 6 tokens out. Like, I'm going to clear the board.
Okay. Wicked. Well, that's very
Yeah.
very
Also of note, Mars is back. Which
Mars is back.
Everyone knows is my favorite house.
A lot of people can't stand it. A lot of people's worst, most hated faction.
I do not know why I don't like Mars. I mean, I have a theory, which is like, it's the only thing that feels like it's of our world. Like, Martians
kind of
are something
like a high-level commentary.
Like, Martians in my brain could be a part of an Earth timeline.
Start that over.
Yeah. Bryce is wanting me to start over for social.
Yeah. You genuinely think Mars is the only thing that could conceivably be of this world?
Well, so like when you look at Untamed or, I don't know, Logos, it's like hypothetically there's humans involved, but it feels like these are humans from another galaxy. Whereas Mars is clearly,
It's like based on our idea of what a Martian is.
Yeah, and so it's the only thing that takes me out of the fantasy of the universe of KeyForge. Although, apparently that just means we're in this timeline, right? Like even Star Alliance, you could be from anywhere, technically. It doesn't feel specifically, like Martians are based on Mars.
Interesting. Yeah, you know what? I mean, I'd have to think about that a lot more.
I don't know.
To effectively destroy
like
it
Logos,
as an argument.
Sanctum, Untamed, the dinosaur things. Like, yeah, we have dinosaurs, I guess.
We got dinosaurs?
But like,
they're not talking and having gladiator games.
You know what I mean?
From what
it's not like there's Earthlings anywhere. There's Martians though.
Yeah.
They don't bother me enough.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason not to like them. I just don't know. I think a lot of people have reasons.
There's a lot of people saying, Jay saying Saurians are all named after Earth dinosaurs, and they're like Roman dinosaurs. So I should be totally offended, but they're one of my favorites.
Yeah, Romans.
Maybe I'm just biased against Martians.
Maybe you just don't like Martians. I don't know what it is. I think there's also the mechanics are kind of combo-y, which I don't really get that into. But like you said, a lot of people love them.
Yeah, a lot of people, I see the chat coming through, a lot of people love it.
And I saw people saying about Martians when they were first removed that, that was my favorite house.
Yeah.
But I feel like the Martian players are like, they're the players that are the Martian players, you know what I'm saying? Like Jonathan would be a Martian player.
Yeah, totally. I mean, he was there, his mothership in Monpok. So.
The kind of guy who would want to put together the witchcraft that this stream is currently running under is a Martian player.
Yeah, and that's fine.
That's exactly what it is. It's like
everyone needs a pinch of Martian in their life. You know what I mean?
You want a string.
You can't be exposed to them all the time, but just a little bit of that energy in your life.
Glory be to Mars. A lot of glory be to Mars in the chat. Can we put up a poll, Bryce? Can you poll it?
We get to test a new feature.
You can put up a YouTube poll. You need your laptop. We'll see if we can get that going. We'll go to the next card. It's Yixel, the Iron Captain. Yixel, YXL, the Iron Captain. This is a 4 power, 1 defense. We got that armor in this game? I don't know. We played a million games so far.
Health, armor, power.
Yeah.
Etc.
4 attack or 4 health. No, 4 power, 1 armor. Play. Each friendly rebel creature captures 2 amber. Flavor text here down with the elders. And we've got some kind of a subplot going on here. Have we learned more about the Martian rebellion or anything like that?
Well, I was going to say my interest in Mars slightly went up with the word rebel. Like if there's a rebellion, I can get on board. Because usually it's because there's something wrong going on. You know what I mean? So maybe the Martians we knew are the tyrants that now I can actually play Martians because the rebels have shown up.
What you need is essentially a green Kylo Ren type figure. Someone nice and moody with a hood, and you'd be totally. Can you imagine how in you would be if that was the case? If there was some hooded miscreant trying to lead a bunch of Martians on a rebellion.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm totally in.
Here, well, this is a good reason to cut away to camera 3. Hopefully you can hear this, Mike. Let me know if you can't. But Zach has a type, as we say in the business, and that type is heavily moody, as it turns out. Isn't it, though?
You know what I think it is? I feel like the mood, though, comes from...
Big mood.
The big mood. Oh, man. The mood dudes. It comes from usually an injustice of some kind or mistreatment or like a misaligned expectations.
That's right. It's not their fault that they're seen as evil.
And that's
they're victims, really, of the universal equation.
Sure.
And they're trying to redeem themselves. They're trying to see themselves out of the darkness that has effectively consumed them, oftentimes by no fault of their own. And when they succeed in doing that, I think you feel a great sense of joy.
Yeah, because they, can no longer be muted. Or they're just awesome like Darth Vader.
And we typically like the things that we experience. So I'm just wondering if you feel like you are consumed by darkness currently, and if there is a way out for you. Like, do you, is this your story as well? Is the story ultimately, about how early on you were deprived of gaming, and you have now Kylo Ren'd yourself into redemption and running a tabletop gaming company and going to Gen Con any year that you want?
I don't know if I Kylo Ren'd myself into redemption.
I don't know, man. You got it all black.
I do.
Take that shirt off and wear that high belt.
Yeah.
And see if we got the beef.
See if we've got the beef. That's my new Halloween outfit. It's just going to be the shirtless, oiled Kylo Ren visage. Yeah, I don't know, man. I do.
Right, well, I
do think that in a lot of ways, I had in the grand scheme of things, my upbringing was way better than a lot of people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was very hard to be me in my household because a lot of the stuff I wanted to partake in was seen as inappropriate and evil. Yeah. But I never responded like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just kept it in and kept it even. And in my head, it was like at some point I'm going to be 18. I can do whatever I want. And then we went to Gen Con every year.
Rather than like destroying a planet.
I didn't murder anybody.
Yeah, I didn't murder anybody.
We're killing a bunch of younglings.
Didn't kill younglings.
Yeah. But I can relate to it.
Let's get these mats. All right, moving on. All right, check this out.
Oh man, it's a full day.
Yeah, I want to show everybody. Okay, we've got our playmat up for pre-order.
So it's like this mat down here, except for different, right?
And also, is this mic working now, Galactus? Tell me if this sounds right. We did have. We're kind of speaking. It's just weird. It was sounding great on Thursdays. I don't know.
Galactus delivering like the perfect 1990s 2000s joke. He said if Zach was having a hard time being me, he wasn't drinking enough Sobe. You remember that drink? Oh my gosh, that is killer.
Sobe was the jam. Okay, hold on a second.
Legendary, you're right. He's saying not enough overnight oats for me growing up. Yeah, I was being denied my oats.
Being denied my oats. Yeah. This is my the darkness is created because the oats denial was
the
so
oats
strong.
brought me back to the light.
Okay, so what I'm showing you right now, this is the original print we got done of a limited edition mat that we could sell. And you'll notice there's some differences in this guy. It's just so hard to see. So we kind of did some work on these corners and removed the diagonal line, but we eventually added that back in.
The diagonal line is for camera purposes, right?
Yeah, well, kind of. But then you figure out it also marks a 4-player zone really well. So you kind of like these. Okay, so here was the first shot at it, but this is important because this is actually printed from Inked Gaming, and I think it's really important to actually show this. This one is the old gamer mats. The colors are a lot different. So these companies definitely do things differently. We added the diagonal line back in, but we've done a bit of a combination of the two. This is a 3x3 mat, so this is a nice. It's really a good 4-player kind of multiplayer mat. We've got two logos opposite each other. We've got the diagonal line going in here. We did some more work on the corners as compared to the stream mat. So it's, we like to rock the gear on stream that looks worse and doesn't have our brand on it. Which is, you don't wear the concert shirt to the concert.
That's fair.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
So the final version of this is this design. Here, let me. Is it easier for me to hold this up?
Yes. Look at that. It's also perfect for Arena Rex.
It is.
If you want an arena. Also, a crokinole board fits in that middle circle like
we know
perfectly.
That, yeah. Okay, there you go. That's the finished mat. But it will have straight corners, and the color work and the bleed on Inked Gaming was so much better than the Gamer Mats one that we're going with Inked on this one.
All right. You heard it here first.
We have a few choices.
John the Bard asking for a 2.0 version that's Nalgene themed. Van asking if we'll sign it. I don't think so.
You can find us at any local thing. We got some stuff cooking that you might want to come to Tulsa for, and you can get that.
If you're going to be at the Fab World Championship, I'll sign whatever you want. Except for contracts.
Those are... So those guys are $50. It's a pre-order. It's a secure pre-order. If you pre-order, there's no refunds. There's no cancellations. So
you're in.
We need to know that everybody who has ordered wants this mat. So make sure you actually want it. If you pre-order it, we're going to print.
You got a link to that? Can I grab it?
Yeah, cub.link/playmat, as you might expect.
Oh, okay.
We're going to print to these numbers. It's a limited edition mat, right? So we're not going to stock this. We're not going to sell it commercially after the fact. Maybe a couple of copies if something falls through. But we're going to print to the numbers like a Kickstarter, I guess. It's just Kickstarter is just pre-orders. Why did I never...
Well, it's pre-orders with stretch goal system.
Yeah.
Without a methodology for managing those pre-orders, so you have to use something else.
Yeah, cool.
Something about a backer kit.
Okay, yeah, isn't that weird? That whole system is a little bit weird.
I just linked to it in the chat, and a lot of people after we started using it on stream are asking for it, and
we'll see if they actually wanted it.
Yeah, we'll see who we can believe. Lots of people said they want it. Because a lot of times like this,
everybody's on the thing, and they're saying, I need this, and then we do it, and it's like sells one copy, and that's not enough. So what's funny about this is... we're selling them for $50, and you can make your own for $60. So we're losing money right off the bat. But if we sell enough of them,
we might make a little bit of money.
We may make some money on this. So this is more a test of like, is this a kind of product that somebody wants?
David's saying Kickstarter's pre-orders that just aren't guaranteed. Which we should have done a Kickstarter for this thing. Raise a couple million off our playmats, and t-shirt brands.
Yeah, so we're gonna look at it. Pre-order it, please, if you want it. and we're going to run those for a few weeks. I think they end around October, early October. And then once those close, we're going to place the order, get it delivered, ship them out to you. They'll be shipped in a box. We're not doing the tube shipping. We've had 1 million playmats shipped to us in boxes, folded up. They're just fine. This came in that way. All of our proofs came in that way. Like, it's not a big deal.
Makes the shipping way more affordable.
It's way more affordable, and you get to save on it because tubes are way more expensive. That long dimension is weird. Anything else on that? I think that's it. We would love
reiterate, like you said, it's pre-order.
Yeah.
We're going to close those down at some point.
Yeah.
We aren't necessarily ever planning on making these available again.
Yeah.
If you're watching this and it's after that is available, sorry, but you can head to our Discord, text us in the community app, and if we get enough people pinging us, we may or may not do a limited edition run, but that's not the expectation. The expectation is do it.
I think it might be a one and done.
Done.
I called it the line work edition in the forward-thinking world where we might have additional editions. But so if we do another one, I wouldn't want to do it exactly like this. I would maybe be a different version.
Yeah, I'm with you.
If we do them at all, I don't even know if that.
I like that. Just like
I have the feeling there's a lot of people that said I want this mat that are not going to actually pre-order it.
We're about to find out.
Talking about you, Colin.
Which
we'll
one?
See. I'll be watching. I'll be watching the orders.
Oxford order available internationally? You betcha.
Yeah, we'll ship anywhere. Most anywhere.
David says, can't wait for the special holiday version of the mat.
Yeah.
I like that green. Let's do it.
Had a little green here.
I totally lied. We're going to do this very regularly. Just kidding.
Let's talk about Gamefound. What have you learned? What do you think? What's your general take? You've heard the interview with Christian. You were there. You were giving it. You were asking questions. You were listening, I hope.
Yeah. So early on, we did a podcast where it kind of struck us as odd that they were doing a Gamefound. And after talking with Christian, I understand it a lot more. Which is, as we talk about in the interview, games that have been, as he referred to them, injured.
Mm-hmm. Not funny, yeah.
Yeah, which I like it better than calling it dead, especially KeyForge. Like, some games die, and then you bring them back to life. Like, Ashes Reborn was literally a game that had gone away and was dead, and you brought it back. KeyForge was in a weird middle state.
Yeah.
Purgatory. Yeah, it was definitely purgatory.
Dante's Purgatorio.
Not quite.
For all of you English majors.
Not dead yet. But I totally get it. Like, you genuinely have no idea. You would assume, like in my head, part of what made it weird is KeyForge felt like it had just been continuing on. And so in the middle of a game's release cycle to suddenly go to a crowdfunding situation is a little bit odd.
Yes.
But as a brand new publisher, buying an old IP and trying to heal it or mend it and bring it back and get it to health, so to speak, from injury, it is a really phenomenal way to gauge overall interest.
Yeah.
Like if they can't raise a couple $100,000 on a Gamefound or something, probably not worth carrying on. And they knew at even 50,000, it seems, they could at least feasibly print this. They already had the set, right?
Yeah.
So you have to fix the algorithm, which it sounds like they were working on that kind of technology anyway.
That can't be cheap.
Yeah. Because they have the printing technology. So, of course, if they have the software to make games like this, regardless of whether KeyForge works out, that's a powerful tool to have.
Yeah, true. And they could honestly just sell that software.
Totally.
Christian seems like he's been into that with his recent ventures. He's making useful tools that other publishers can use to do things.
Yeah, and if you also have the printing facility, the software actually opens up the door for clients to come to you that say, hey, I want the software. Well, part of using our software is you have to print with us.
There you go.
And like, it's this whole thing.
All of a sudden, you got Magic the Gathering unique deck game.
So it felt like they were working on that already. And then the KeyForge opportunity comes around. And it's like, well, we're going to solve the algorithm stuff anyway. So at some amount, they can at least print Winds of Exchange and give players that set.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Like, at worst, you love the game enough to say, hey, the set that was already done, let's not just let that go off into the sunset. Like that 10th set of Destiny never getting printed. Low-key devastating.
Yeah.
They plan on doing the OP thing in 2020 to, like, you could get a play set for playing in the whatever event series they were going to do. And then it just never did anything. Is like,
that's probably the worst. How about Mom Pod, too? Remember all those little sketches and stuff we got to see?
Yeah, but
for
apparently
years.
Now they're putting them out in metal.
Yeah. A little late, honestly, a little late. Grand scheme of things.
So it at least makes a little more sense. There is still an awkward moment between like our subscription / retail and the game, because I want people to go back to the Gamefound so that Like they're using that as an indicator of how much interest there still is for the game, which in turn means the more successful that is, the more resources they're going to plan to put towards this game's future. So that's good for the game and the community, period. But at the same time, our subscription, the next thing it's serving, is the thing that you can get through this Gamefound campaign.
Yeah.
Same is going to be true of retailers.
But who doesn't want more Winds of Exchange decks?
Agreed.
You know, I think a lot of the people that would back a Gamefound, and maybe, do we have poll technology? Mm-hmm. Can we ask, do you like Mars? Yes or no?
We polled the entire player base.
Just now?
That's watching our stream. You know.
I was going to say the entire player base. Wow.
What did they say?
68% are pro-Martian.
68% pro-Martian.
Yeah. Well.
That's not bad. I mean, it's not easy.
Is it 68% flat?
Not the. It's not.
That's really close to 33%, and I would love to be a part of the 33%.
It's not that Mars is their favorite, but they at least are pro Martians being in it, which means like 30+% of people don't like Mars.
And you know, is 51% enough?
I don't know. Yeah, it's a great question.
They at least have the like 2/3 majority, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So you know, Mars
That's
is
enough
okay.
to keep Mars going.
And you know, one of the cool things about KeyForge is the way it is.
Can you ask if you backed the Gamefound or not? I'd like to know who backed the Gamefound that's watching.
Yeah.
Because my assumption is kind of that if you're the type of person backing the Gamefound, I think you're probably in one. Okay, you're probably in one category. You're probably a huge KeyForge fan. Is that fair?
If you're backing the Gamefound?
Yeah.
I don't think you're backing the Gamefound if you're like, I want to check this out.
Mm-hmm. And if you're a huge KeyForge fan, are you also the kind of player that probably wants more decks than what you're getting in the Gamefound?
I would say yes, except for the like you can get as many decks as you want through the Gamefound as add-ons.
Oh.
So you can do your pledge level. So like the level that was most interesting to me is the $150. You get a custom named deck, and then you get a playmat with the logo that matches on the back of your deck. Is like the thing, which is cool.
But do you get? Is that just one deck and one playmat?
No. Well, you get. Let me pull it up.
Do you always get a box of KeyForge with that deal?
So here are the levels. There's the Reaper of Amber, $150 level, and you get 6 decks. Is it one? Hold on, let me just click it. I gotta click in. You get 12 decks. You get 2 playmats. You get 1 personalized deck and 1 playmat that matches the logo on the personalized thing.
Understood.
At the $150. $50 level, you get a starter, it looks like. 65, it looks like you get 6 decks.
Okay,
but
that's half the...
You have these different things. You even have this crazy $420 level. Just like, you get the plushie. You get, it's crazy. But you also have add-ons. So you can literally add on as many decks as you want, hypothetically.
Okay. Hypothetically. And we assumed that $12.99 is probably the new MSRP of a KeyForge deck based on this page.
It is actually confirmed.
Did they say that? Okay.
Yeah. I have confirmed it.
You have... Oh, Zach has confirmed it. Ooh. A little bird told me it's $12.99. Okay, good, because I thought it might be a lower price on the Gamefound. And then
so the decks you get as part of the bundle, like the $150 bundle, comes out to be cheaper than this. Yeah. But add-on decks are all $12.99.
All right, so ergo, who here? I mean, you know, if you're watching this, I saw some comments come in. So if you're watching this, you're going to get Winds of Exchange at retail through our sub or at a local store.
Well, less than retail through our sub.
Well, yeah, but I mean just retail, as in we're the retail.
I thought you meant retail price.
Yeah, not retail price. What does that even mean, you know?
YOLO.
YOLO. If you're not doing the Gamefound, but you are planning to pick up Winds of Exchange later, why not back the Gamefound? Do you have an answer for that?
And that's the friction. Because if you say loyalty, or like I want to support where I play, or I want to support the lovely lads that I watch on YouTube, whatever it is.
The 2 absolute legends.
Just the legends, the lovely legends. That's great and all, but like I said, I would rather, if you're choosing, weirdly.
Don't say that. I'm trying to build a house.
I know. But realistically, the long-term future of the game is probably more, like, even for retailers, it's probably better if the game is more successful. Like if they have $1 million Gamefound here, and that enables Ghost Galaxy to support a certain level. I also think that was one of the things Christian mentioned is the more successful this is, you have retailers who have previously been burnt by a game. That's part of why bringing a game back is so hard, is the people that build communities in the player base and the retailer level and the retailers themselves are less likely. If you have 3 boxes of last set of KeyForge sitting there and they do, like, it's like, do you really want to try this again? Basically, because the new energy's gone.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I've gotten into this on Discord a little bit. I think that is, in a lot of ways, wishful thinking about how the retail chain ultimately operates. There are some good retail stores that are investing as much time and energy in building a KeyForge community as they are selling the product. I think most people said, KeyForge sold out at Gen Con, I need to get as much KeyForge as I can because it's hot and it'll sell. And then they try to sell it, and then they're successful, and then they'll order the next set, try to sell it. If it's successful, they'll order the next set, and then when it doesn't sell, they'll stop ordering it.
I will say, one of the biggest differences for KeyForge is that I think the premier way to play this locally is sealed.
Definitely.
So a lot of other games that we talk about, I feel like the retailer's not really inspiring the transaction as often. Like, a lot of times you want the thing and you go buy it, like, from the store because you want to support that store, which is fine. But in KeyForge's case, like, even our local sealeds, we're continuing to generate movement of KeyForge decks in, like, a fun and engaging way. And so there is, just how valuable is that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but
and how often is it actually happening?
That's a good question.
What's the answer to that poll, Bryce?
After 5 minutes, after 75 votes, 55% said yes.
55, so about half the stream is currently back in Gamefound. Half the stream is not. I saw some comments about VAT taxes, about international sales being very difficult on Gamefound, those kinds of issues. Next thing, Bryce, can we put up another poll?
Yeah.
Just the poll man today. Can you ask how many, or I guess this is a question, did you have a local store running sealed events for KeyForge?
Man, you're really leaning into poll technology.
Dude, we've got the new technology. We got
Aaron
polls.
Clark's saying, seemed like he's having trouble purchasing the playmat. It looks like it's a you thing, Aaron.
Oh, yeah, I do see that. Wow, you can immediately check. Isn't that cool? Yeah, maybe check on... We'll get you sorted later. Maybe try a different card or something.
But ultimately, his point, regardless of any friction that would be there, is that the game isn't going to exist unless this is successful. So even if there is friction, it's just a necessary evil, right?
Yeah,
I
do think so.
Downside.
Yeah.
And I get that. Like, we always talk about this. It's so difficult as a publisher to know how much to print of a game.
You can't.
And it helps that he's printing it, or they are printing it on site, so you don't have to. If you print in China, which is very typical in the tabletop industry, the cost of a print run of 3,000, right, units or 5,000, just printing at all is significant, and then more units on top of that isn't as bad. So you don't want to do a bunch of small print runs.
Right. That's the worst thing.
Yeah, and if you're coming from China, it takes time. So you have to hit print 3 to 6 months before release. No distributor or retailer wants to commit to units until as late as possible. So it's this natural friction. We always talk about this.
Yep.
And if you're bringing a game back, it's one thing if it's a new game and you want to launch big with it and, like, you believe in it and it's this thing, but, like, this is effectively a risk. So you can either position it as this means they don't believe.
Sure.
There's some hesitance, or...
But what is belief,
yeah,
in the grand scheme of things,
hard
right?
facts.
Faith. I mean, faith in a game, what you're trusting my gut, it's just like, I don't know. Like, this is just impossible to predict whether there's enough how many KeyForge players are left, Or who even is interested in taking a turn to this game. Soulforge Fusion has come out since then, another unique tech game. Tons of different games have come out since the launch of KeyForge that have strained that attention elsewhere. If you're sitting there looking at it and saying, like, all right, how many KeyForge decks should I print? The industry has never had an answer to that question.
Well, I think the most important part, and Christian didn't say this, but this is me drawing a conclusion, is that the perceived value of retail specifically, just to believe in it, and to buy in and to do their thing, is less than directly going to the players and finding out.
Yeah.
Right? And that makes sense. That actually makes a lot of sense. So, it's not ideal, but the game was on life support. So
yeah, well, not ideal for retail. It is ideal for Christian.
seemingly,
yeah, absolutely. Any publisher doing like a Kickstarter like that, I mean, yeah, it makes total sense. Like, of course, get demand immediately. That's what we're doing for the playmat.
Yeah,
I don't want to go print 100 playmats and then be like, oops, only 5 sold. We didn't know. Like, we've never sold a 3x3 playmat before. We have no idea how much this is in demand. So you ask with money.
Yeah,
you say, well,
with
who's
actual
willing
money
to pay now, and then we'll do a print run of them.
And that is one of the big realities here with the Gamefound is that if you want to back it, you have to pay now, and it's not coming out right now.
Yeah.
If you want to buy it at retail later, you can make that choice.
You kind of see the final product.
Yeah, and how your life is at that moment, and if you're still excited about it, and how many you want.
Love this. So you guys are crushing it here in the chat. It's a fun day today. 172 people on. Look at you guys go.
What up?
There's your metric, Christian. 172, baby. Half of them are backing on Gamefound. That means we have a player base of at least, 80, 90 people?
100 people. Let me tell you how many people have backed the Gamefound. How about that?
I want to catch up. The King of Odonati here said our store supported KeyForge early on with 4 to 5 stores supporting it, but it was dropping off during Worlds Collide with only 2 stores supporting it. Richard Bear Gardner, good to see you, Richard. So much of the debate will always be based on the model of sale and support. In my humble view, the relaunch has a long road to climb. I love KeyForge for a casual game, but I'll be honest, I didn't back it. I think that's a common sentiment at this point.
Just so we're 2,208 backers currently.
Yeah, it's great. That's a solid little base, little community. Donald Kelly said, KeyForge was always a gotcha purchase for me at checkout, the LGS equivalent of a pack of gum or a chapstick. It's actually really excellent. Creative Chaos says, I specifically backed just enough to get me in to the set with the intention of buying from my LGS in the future as they've expressed interest. So that's cool. So saving it for the LGS. And then Davo saying I would definitely buy single decks at local store bi-weekly sealed events. Sky Jedi, when's the last time we had this many people in stream?
It happens pretty often.
Yeah, pretty often. Dude, we're famous now. We're influencers.
Famous. I
mean, we can't live without the approval and support of all of you.
I mean, Fab is pretty regularly 150, 200, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Sorcery gets up there as well.
Netrunner was the last big.
Netrunner is always big, always huge.
While Wormhole is in the house, we can officially party.
Begin. And I just want to say also to Zach Armstrong, we got that Christian interview first.
Oh, yeah. What do you guys bet on that?
Nothing.
Just pride?
Nothing.
What's up?
Just influence.
Dan asking the question. This is the real question. This is to all the real people out there. Did either of you two, S or Z, I assume that means Steven or Zach?
That's a good assumption, yeah.
Back the Gamefound.
You absolutely did, right?
I absolutely did, of course.
I try to spend money on games.
Come on. I'm a sucker for all these things.
No, listen, for real, though, I'm in an extremely, extremely small house right now. I can't even add pictures, paintings, framed art.
Dude,
I can't add
this morning
anything
you were
to
talking
this
about your
place.
checklist of house stuff to do, and you were talking about buying multiple units of deodorant.
Yeah.
And in my head, I was like, oh, yeah, dude, I buy 12 at a time because I don't
That's
want
like my whole bathroom.
Well, then I literally thought, I was like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
100%.
Yeah, because you're living the, what do you call it? Not tiny house. Tiny house?
It is tiny. Oh, it's in the definition. 280 square feet, man.
It is in the definition of tiny.
That's as much as some rooms.
Yeah, like my office is close to that big. Like at home.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know that.
You know, to that, the good friend that I am.
Going anyway? You ever wonder that? Why am I in 280 square feet and he has one room that's as big as that?
I say that all the time.
Yeah, right. And then Bryce didn't even get lunch bought for him.
I want to travel. I don't want to be at that house. I don't need a nice house.
I will say, being the generous and kind friend that I am,
and you're telling people not to subscribe.
A certain number of what is happening? I'm a chaos agent here. I have a fair amount of your stuff at my house.
That's true. Yeah, you've been very kind and put it in the attic, literally. What's the answer to that poll, Bryce? Hit me.
Out of 84 votes.
84 votes.
55 people said yes.
55 people said yes.
55%.
55%. So half of the people actually did have weekly sealed events. That is way higher than I thought it would be.
Dude, I'm telling you, they're popping.
Great.
And like, it was the kind of thing, of course, game spikes interest early. Look at Steven getting excited.
All right, risk on retail tier.
Don't you like having data?
Yes.
That's actually so nice.
Now, obviously, we're selecting from the most locked in and the likelihood that
45% of people here said they did not back the Gamefound.
Yeah, true. And the likelihood that you had a weekly or bi-weekly sealed event to attend for KeyForge and how that correlates with you still being interested in KeyForge.
I'm not saying it's not biased.
It's a very high-end selection, but still half of the people that are still bought in and at least interested in the game having a weekly sealed at least at one point that's really stronger than I thought it would be.
Yeah, and I think so, like most products, right? You have the product life cycle, like growth up to a plateau and then usually slow decline until it goes away. So when KeyForge was super hot, every store in the country, it's just like Fab. Every store in the country wants however many units they can get, but it eventually cools down.
Yeah.
Then you find out real quick who the real people are, right? The real
supporters.
The real everything. It's not just pre-attendees town.
Yeah.
And so I feel like KeyForge was in that state. It had come off its peak, but it was really nicely like flatlining. And they had the big OP series plan. The first World Championship was planned.
It was in a sustainable place. Yeah.
But yeah, I knew a ton of people that had local sealed events every week, and that's, like I said, that's like my favorite way to play KeyForge.
And last question before I get into these Dark Tidings decks. Do you think there's a retailer who had successful sealed events for KeyForge who would look at Winds of Exchange and say, well, because of this Gamefound, I'm not going to try to do that again?
No.
Okay. Well, then it's the right decision.
And I also think
100%.
Here's some tea. I also think that the stores that will support, there are some amount of stores that will see this and be like, oh, KeyForge is back. Great. I'm going to support that game. 50 to 200 stores.
And let's be clear, too, when we say support KeyForge, they're
going to stock it. They're going to schedule it. They're going to put it on an event calendar. They're going to host it. They're going to deal with it.
Because organized play, because getting people into the store playing the game sells more of the game.
Or whatever else they're doing. Whether it's a board game cafe
or anything else. Yeah. But they see it as a revenue generator for the store, and therefore
a community
support
builder
it.
And all that kind of stuff.
I think a lot of times when we talk about supporting the game, it's not like a throwback stream necessarily. Like it's not like we're just going to play like Doomtown on stream because we just want to like show it off. There's supporting a game, the retail publisher relationship, and this is the case for us with Fab and anything else we have subscriptions for as well, is there is a relationship between supporting a game, but it also, as a retailer, you must have some kind of a sales motivation behind that, right? So you have to do two things from this relaunch perspective. You have to get retailers interested in KeyForge enough that they think it's worth investing time because it will make them cash on the retail transaction side.
Sure.
Because the only way it's structured is we give you a discount on product. So the only way you can make money on your investment in this game is by selling that product.
Yep.
So that's a really important, you have to have those things all working together.
And I think one of the critical components of KeyForge is the long tail for retail is both important and economical.
Yes.
So if you have a weekly sale with 10 to 20 people, that's, at this point, you're probably charging $15, $20 because the decks are $12.99, so $15. And that actually, unlike an LCG where it's one transaction a month for $15,
totally,
that keeps going. You host an event, you make money,
and everybody wins in that exchange.
Literally, the player wins, the publisher wins, the retailer wins.
Players get what they want, retailers get what they want, publisher gets what they want.
Yep.
So
because retailers hosting an event, which is what's earning them a discount.
That's retail at its best, man.
Yeah, that's why I like that. Like from a model in this space, it's the one that really makes a lot of sense. Like the unique deck game for the 3-tier. Two-ish tier. But here's what I'll say.
It's really true.
I think it's probably 50 to 200 stores in the world that would default jump back in and support KeyForge. Like if you just strictly.
Okay.
Without other prodding. That said, I think the number one way to get stores back on and to get local communities fired back up, it's all about the players.
Always has
so
been.
If someone earlier was saying they talked to their local store about KeyForge after this announcement in the Gamefound, and they said they weren't really interested in supporting it, but if they could get enough players into it, they would do it. And so if you go direct to players with something that's exciting like the Gamefound campaign and get them decks and get people playing again and talking about it again, you announce an OP program and stuff, I think it's the number one way to actually get stores hosting events again.
Yeah.
Because players are going to start coming in. They're going to find each other. They're going to want events. There's going to be OP programs like, hey, did you apply for the store championship?
They're going to say, we'll buy a sealed deck from you every week if you host a sealed event.
100%. And that is not affected by the fact that people bought Gamefound decks.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Sealed, after I get my Gamefound stuff in, after I get my subscription stuff even, like, and this is what happened, I had a subscription for, I think it was 2 displays at the time for KeyForge. Get all my decks. The next Tuesday, it's KeyForge sealed with a new set. I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
So it is unique. I think it, unlike a lot of other games, makes more sense in a crowdfunding platform / a direct first into a retail situation. So we'll see what happens.
Only it is just because the retail situation, the support mechanism, the support mechanism is so obviously positive if you're hosting sealed events.
Yeah.
If I'm coming in and I'm saying players can come in once a week, pay me $5 to play an adaptive constructed tournament, that's just so less appealing.
Yeah, and
so much less appealing.
Worth noting that from a retailer perspective, the inventory risk you need to take to host weekly sealed events is way low.
Yeah.
So Ghost Galaxy can print domestically, like all the time. So if you buy 30, 40 total decks as a store, you can schedule a weekly KeyForge night, and you should be able to get more in.
Right.
Like you have 30 people show up, it's like, oh, I need to order 30 more for next week.
Yeah.
Or like 2 weeks from now, and then like that cycle starts going. It's not very expensive, but the payout is really good on a week-to-week basis, weirdly, if you actually build that community.
It can actually be a model.
Yeah.
An economic model, just like Magic the Gathering was at the very beginning.
Right.
You want to play some KeyForge?
That was like a KeyForge podcast. We almost went for an hour on KeyForge.
Oh, well, it's Monday.
Hey, remember, I need to scan this thing before you show the world, because someone might snipe me.
Dark Tidings, the last set we had before the game was, as Christian said, injured.
And important to note, these are my last 2 sealed KeyForge decks that were unopened.
The final 2.
The final.
I think we'll be back next week. I think we're going to play some co-op next week. Is that right, Bryce? Yeah.
Can we play the one we haven't played?
Yeah, we're going to play the Abyssal what have yous, and we're going to use the we will have the official versions, I think.
I have them in there right now.
You got them. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, then we'll play them for sure. We'll play them.
What does that look for?
We think they are. We pulled them off Reddit.
No. I have the official decks.
He's got them.
Physically.
Okay. I think Christian sent some over.
Where's your good box? Gotcha.
All right, hold on. Let me open this, and then let me...
Sam Kerr now. The stretch goals are really drawing me in.
Scan.
Did you get anything?
Scan and go, man.
Enhance.
Don't look at my deck list.
No, it's just... Oh, dude, look at the name of that deck.
I know, it's great, right? Can I show it to the people?
Yeah, you're good now. I got it scanned.
We've got Earthy Durzel.
Earthy Durzel. That almost sounds country. Earthy Durzel.
Well, Earthy Durzel.
Ooh, I don't own any of these yet. Check this out, dude. It's a concept that I don't really know how it works. Yeah. Aya of the Trappers Cafes Evil Twin. It's an Evil Twin deck.
What does that mean?
There's an exact duplicate of this deck somewhere that is the non-Evil Twin version.
This is called the Twin?
So if you look, it's got the Evil Twin logo.
Or the Good Twin?
So there's these 4 cards in the other deck that are different. And these 4 cards.
Is that Larry of the Lake?
Yeah, that's the name of that card, yeah. 3 Larry of the Lakes and 1 Sir Bever. And then a Chelonia, a Mooklan, an Old Patty, and a Youngest Bear.
Larry of the Lake and Sir Bever?
Well, look at this, dude. Look at this. Look at the back of this. This is awesome. I didn't get a single Evil Twin until now. You can tell the logo's different.
Oh my gosh, that looks amazing.
Yeah. So there's basically Aya of the Trappers Cafe.
Are the hairs on the back of your neck standing up right now?
No, not quite.
No, you didn't feel like you hit magic, lightning in a bottle there?
Evil Twin, dude.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah, this is awesome. Does anyone know how common the Evil Twins were? What a way to end this Dark Tidings situation. Also, does anyone own the non-Evil Twin version? I'll offer you $5 for your deck.
Yeah, Terrence, I don't think they've printed the new ones yet. This is cool. The Gamefound campaign has our local community so excited. They're all going back to the LGS to buy Dark Tidings products. Bless you.
That's what I was going to say, too. New players, one thing that's really cool. New players, if they're interested in KeyForge, there's so many decks to go out and try.
Yeah, it's true. And a lot of them are like, literally, you can just like go turn in a
There's something called,
for a couple decks.
I think I saw one in Tulsa the other day for the first time. Ollies?
Ollies? What's an Ollie? I mean, aside from the sweetest skateboard move I'd ever done.
Yeah. So it's just like place that has old stuff that's for sale. Like it's almost like
a vintage stock.
Yeah, ish, but it's bigger than that. It's like, oh, there's random couches or whatever.
It's a big thrift store.
But they had like Star Trek CCG boxes at some point.
What?
Then they had like, and it'll hit like all the stores at once because they'll find some storage container that has 5,000 of this thing in it or whatever it is. Anyways, they had KeyForge decks for like 50 cents.
Oh, okay. That's easy.
Dude, look at this. Look at this Youngest Bear Evil Twin version.
Oh my gosh.
How cool is that?
Dude, that looks amazing.
Dude, and look at old Patty.
Are you kidding me?
Look at old Patty. He looks awesome. Do we have an old Patty card pop?
Unbelievable.
I've just
You don't have the Evil Twin version on the pop, I imagine.
Ace of Keys saying 3 out of 50.
You do have the Evil Twin version.
Look at that, old Patty.
These look great.
Yeah.
That's an excellent song, Jones.
Yeah.
And a Mooklin.
John.
Look at that Mooklin, dude.
Crushing. I remember loving that guy.
Dave was saying, can you guys
Mooklin.
post the names? All right, let me type mine.
Mine is Earthy Durzel. EARTHYDIRZEL. It's an Epic Quest deck, which I think is notable.
Earthly. Spell it again. D.
Yeah. Now, these Epic Quests, you got to see how many knights you've got, I think is the
Is
key.
it one of those decks?
Yeah, it's one of those that has no knights.
Oh.
2, 3. It has 3 knights. So, and this is the thing about a lot of these cards and algorithms. I do think Soulforge did a pretty good job of like preventing the slice that just isn't super playable. But I mean, I guess you have 3 out, and then you Epic Quest.
Can you read Epic Quest to me?
Play it. Archive each friendly knight creature from play. And then if you have played 7 or more Sanctum cards this turn, destroy Epic Quest and forge a key at no cost. So typically you want a bunch of knights out, then you want to archive all of them, and then you want to pull them all in, and then play all of them, and then Epic Quest yourself into a key. But 3 is respectable. I can get into that.
So can we pull, whoa, look at that Epic Quest. You can like see through it.
Oh yeah, because some of the, we chroma keyed some of the stuff. But that's only for us, our preview. That's not, the people
that's
can't see
crazy.
that. Yeah.
Is there a regular old Patty?
Old Patty normal.
I want to see what it looks like differently.
Old Patty twin.
Look at this guy.
Just a normie.
Wow.
Is his ability different?
No way. This looks so cool compared to that. It's like he got crazy.
Oh, nice. So that one is discard the bottom card of your deck. This is discard the bottom of your opponent's deck. Or the bottom 3 instead if the tide is high. Destroy a creature that shares 1 house. Play each. So that one plays each creature and this destroys. I love Evil Twins.
Wow.
I love Evil Twins.
See, this is what I'm talking about with your whole thing. Your whole vibe.
And dude, this is great. Look at the house. This is great. I'm so happy right now. This could not have gone better.
All right, let's play.
Hold on.
I'm going to shuffle it up and go, man.
Okay, there was 1 Evil Twin in here.
I'm going to sleeve him.
What? Yeah, I need to sleeve this thing. This is awesome.
All the luck, man.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Dude,
Look at this Larry of the Lake Evil Twin version.
Oh, man.
Jay saying he got a Kylo Ren deck after all.
You did. You totally did.
Dude,
it's crazy.
This is so awesome.
It happened.
What's normal Larry of the Lake look like?
There's no end to the crazy stuff you can do with this game.
I really hope that. Yeah, see? Evil Twin way better.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's awesome. It looks so good. Like, the art looks so good. And the templating, the black templating like that. Oh my gosh.
So, I was saying this earlier, but
See you, Giovanni.
remember back in the Star Wars TCG when, what set was it? I think it was Sith Rising, the second set, had, very rare, that Han Solo. Oh no, it was New Hope, the third set.
It was the one from the 4th set?
They had a Han Solo from the 4th set. And that thing was so awesome looking and cool. I hope they, like the anomalies remind me of that. It's like a really cool looking version of a card from a future set. I don't know why. I would put cards in from 5 sets from now. Obviously, you'd have to have...
If you could.
It's just like, hey, let's just like we'll put this card in the 5 sets from now, no matter what happens. But like,
and I mean, at a certain point,
for an unknown number of sets.
At a certain point, what's a set? You know, also like if you have 17 sets built,
yeah,
like you have an infinite amount of insanity that can happen at any given. Just like
right now, you can put out a set and like have untamed cards from all the untamed sets.
Absolutely.
I'm like, why not? Although the anomaly border stuff is really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. Super cool. Richard Bear Gardner. I love Fab and will play when I can, but competition isn't an option for me. We're living in times with some truly awesome games. I hear that. Kafka, did you miss any games yet? No, you didn't. Jay Rutley says still haven't seen the Red Baron yet.
Red Baron's cool.
Have you seen it?
There was an anomaly, but we haven't seen it in a set. Mm-hmm. Also, Richard, that's one of the things I really like about them doing PvE co-op. I think KeyForge particularly is super geared for it because there's no deck building. So if you can play with your decks in the solo co-op mode whenever you can, you can kind of get familiar with how they function and then actually play in a real would-be tournament. Look at
was the anomaly the one with the lightning round?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like the next set?
Yeah, but a lot of them apparently had the anomaly version, but we've not seen the real version yet. 2 out of 10, only 2 out of 10. We've seen the anomalies. That's so cool. That's great, Sky Jedi. Thank you for that. That's good information. We've got some Amber sets left on the store also, everybody.
Some very few amount of them.
Fully unique. They're almost sold out. We'll print some more. I don't know.
We do. That's an active SKU. So we were out of stock to sign up for the wait list, and we use that wait list to determine how much more to print.
Look at that. Isn't that just nice?
Yeah. Meanwhile...
Oh, you have actual...
You're good.
Oh, dude, you're just grabbing the keys?
Yeah.
Look at all this amber, man. I feel rich.
Dude, these, the black and gold and the black and silver that we did one holiday season.
Those are clues there, but yeah.
Is that a clue?
Yeah.
Oh, here it is.
You wouldn't know a clue if it... Every time we play Arkham, you're trying to use all sorts of crazy stuff.
Someone did this. It wasn't me. Someone put them in the wrong spot.
Definitely wasn't you.
Well,
I definitely snuck into that container late at night.
No. Someone does sneak into my container to take social pictures. And an unknowing person could easily put these in. Look, the same size, same color palette. Uh-huh. Bryce's face.
Sky Jedi, can we get yellow stun tone? Is yellow the stun color? I thought it was blue.
Is there really a color for stun?
I don't think there's a token for stun. I think like in the base game, right? Is it just you flip it like upside down or something? I don't remember. Maybe we'll do that for Christmas. I think there was a
card. A stun card.
They changed it. Oh, okay. They changed it. Stun is yellow. Maybe we'll do that. Hold on, I'll make a note of that.
Van's saying my deck's SAS is 66, while yours is 54.
That's about right. Yellow stun tokens.
Blue is a ward now.
Yeah, I remember it kind of stacking up on itself in a non-ideal way. You have anything else about the Gamefound? Was there anything we didn't talk about or otherwise?
Stretch goals. It's successful. Etc. Etc.
What are this? Any stretch goals that are particularly notable? We talked about all of them, didn't we?
No.
At like 400 something, you get a localization. At 600, you get localization.
The ones that have already been unlocked is that at 250,000 free token creature card set, each player receives 1 free token creature card set. I don't know what a token creature card set is.
Maybe it's probably just a bunch of tokens, yeah.
At 300,000, everyone who pledges is granted the title of Savior of KeyForge. As a special badge honor, every pledge reward level receives 1 additional Winds of Exchange deck with an exclusive graphical treatment. These decks will be legal in organized play events.
That's cool. So you just get a special deck.
Yeah. At 400,000, Are You Unchained? This is actually really cool. Each pledge level will receive 1 Unchained deck generated from the KeyForge Winds of Exchange set. An Unchained deck is generated with almost none of the normal rules and balancing and will feature much higher ratio of Legacy and Maverick cards. There are no guarantees of balance, order, or even sanity in these wacky decks. The Unchained deck concept harkens back to the earliest days of KeyForge development when it was Richard Garfield's Technic Richard Garfield originally proposed that every deck generated was as random and free as possible,
That sounds great.
with very few qualifiers ahead of it. While that is not ultimately what happened, the Unchained decks will give you a flavor of what might have been. Unchained decks will be physically marked as such during production and are not allowed in regular tournament play. Yet, who knows? Maybe one day we'll host some wild and zany Unchained event.
You know what's going to happen is all these Unchained decks are going to go out, and everyone's going to say, this is our preferred way to play KeyForge.
Or I'm going to get a Sascore 2 deck, and you're going to have 100, and it's going to be insane. And Christian was already
welcome to London, fam.
Talking on the podcast about one of the things he wants to fix is people having a pile of decks that aren't good. So
we make all the decks SAS 65, and then you're done.
Well, then it's boring.
Make everyone have the same card.
Oh, so what you're saying is it's a give and take.
And then, yeah, that's it. Then there's other stretch goals and stuff. But it seems like, let's see, have they made any more money since we started? They're up $4,000 specifically because of this
That's
stream.
$4,000 stream.
You know.
We'll just, Christian,
And who knows?
cut that check right to our office.
I bet the podcast is
Care of
responsible
Stephen Woolley.
for at least half of what came before that.
Definitely. So that's
So
another
204,000 is us.
204,000. Stephen Woolley.
Driveway fund.
Yeah, you can go ahead and send it to the address listed on our website. Appreciate that. That'll buy you a little bit more stake than Nalgene for at least a week or so.
All right. Do you remember the going first rules?
Yeah, you draw 7, I draw 6.
You want me to go first? Is that what you're saying?
No, we can roll for it or whatever.
Even Steven? It was even. You went first or second?
I want to go first.
It's all you, dog.
Oh, see, look, you're using the line. That's smart. It's very smart. I'm going to do it right here.
I've done this before.
See, and you too can use this line
On
or a
your
line
stream.
like it on your own playmat. And we can use this to align the shot too if we want to. You're clearly already doing it like a psychopath.
Easy Killer.
Is that from a movie?
Easy Killer? I
Yeah,
have no idea.
I bet it is. Where are you going, Richard? Richard, you leaving?
This is insanity.
You probably got to sass $1 million, in fact.
Me?
Yeah.
Nah, dog. Million?
No, dog, I don't do $1 million.
I think my highest is like an 80, 81 or something. 82.
Okay, I get the first play. Is that right?
Richard Garner, that mat is a glorious thing. It could be yours.
It can be yours on the website right now. Cost -1. Time is high, +1 while the time is long. Okay.
Well, Wormhole. Zach, what are you going to name your custom deck? I don't know yet, but one idea I liked was in Leet Speak, Zach's Beefy Boys. And I just hope it comes with a lot of chonky Brobnar creatures. No one take that from me.
Okay, what do we got here? Okay. Do I discard down at the end of a turn? Or
You only get to play one card in the first turn.
But it also doesn't have that rule where you discard down, right? I don't think it does.
I don't think so.
It's like if I have a card here that draws me a card and I end with 7, I think I hold on to all 7.
I agree with that. Richard Garner, UK shipping yet. So we do ship to the UK, but we won't have domestic on the playmat.
Okay, this is going to be clearly going to be an insanely weird deck. All right, Zach, I'm going to start with Lay of the Land. It's a Star Alliance card. It's going to gain me an amber for playing it. I'm going to look at the top 3 cards of my deck. I'm going to put them back in any order.
Love Pie because it's awesome. Saying, first time catching you live. Well, welcome to the stream. Happy to have you here.
And then I will put one of them on, put them back in any order, and then draw a card. Okay.
Love Pie saying, currently watching your fab 8-person draft with 2 people.
I can't. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
I want to do that again.
Yeah.
But I also want to not be in a rush the second pack. Like the second, third pack, we had to kind of get going.
We did have to kind of get going.
Sit back, relax, get a charcuterie board, draft that whole thing.
Yeah.
See, some of my ideas you don't like.
No.
Some of my other ideas you really like.
I like your ideas. I like your ideas very much, man. Let's do it like this. Yeah. Okay, we'll put them back in this order, and then we will draw a card, and then it's your go.
I just can't believe this card exists. You ever feel that way?
Usually with the decks I play, no, I don't feel that way.
All right, so I'm gonna play Bumblebird. Alpha means I have to play as my first card. Play, give 2 +1 power counters to each other friendly untamed creature.
Currently at 0.
None, but
Yeah.
you know.
But that would have been marvelous in a world where that did matter indeed.
I guess it comes in. Tapped?
That's right, yeah. I don't believe it's called tapped. I believe it's exhausted or tired or sideways.
90 degreed. Nicholas Shade. Anyways.
Nicholas Shade.
How do you say this word?
Man, by the way, you know an awful lot about 90 degrees. You know Nick Lachey, huh?
No, it's just because of that show, Nick and... What was the Nick and...
Nick at Night?
No, it was Jessica, but wasn't there a name for it?
I honestly don't know what you're talking about. I didn't even really know what 90 degrees was. I
Really?
just know that it's in the vein of like
Dude,
boy band.
My older brothers and cousins used to watch that show. It's on like MTV.
It wasn't the one with all the red-haired brothers, was it?
No. Jessica Simpson?
That sounds right.
Blonde?
Yeah. Well,
And Nick Lachey from 90 Degrees had a reality show.
Nick and Jessica?
I think it was maybe called Nick and Jessica. I don't know. But I don't even know what songs they sing. I just know that he was in 90 Degrees because of that show.
Right on.
Anyways, how do you say this word?
Meliobe or Myliobe? I'd probably say Myliobe.
Myliobe? I love the untamed creatures.
Myliobe has a first name.
Larry Carter, 98 degrees, ... Wasn't Larry in 98 degrees? That'd be great.
He went from 98 degrees to web development.
Yeah, natural progression, honestly.
Bronze is asking the diameter of the inner circle of the playmat. Do you have a tape measure? Bryce,
about
could
1
you
1/4
borrow that tape measure from
forearms.
Ops? I'll measure that. It's not a problem.
There's an app that-
I do have the measure app. Hold on a second. I've got it. I got you, Bronze. Let's do it. I didn't memorize it. I don't know if this is going to be accurate, but I do have the app. Is yours called Measure?
I don't remember what it's called.
This can't possibly work. I don't believe this at all. This says 25.5 inches. Ah.
I can believe that. It's like almost 2 forearms worth. That's about a foot, right? From here to here. Look, here to here. It's about a foot.
Is it? Yeah?
So then 2 forearms would be about...
Maybe it is 25. I made 25.
I'm not crazy, dude. Anyways, check this. This card is crazy. It's called Primal Relic. So I play it again, Amber. Cool. Let me read this to you.
Okay.
Put 4 amber on Primal Relic
Oh, gosh.
from the common supply. Give 3 creatures a +1 power counter. You see what this deck is doing. So I'm gonna have 2 creatures. At the start of each player's turn, if they control creatures with total power 20 or higher. So right now I'm at 7.
Now, wait a minute. What are you doing? You forge a key or something?
No. You move every amber from here to that player's pool.
Okay, so you're trying to buff all your creatures.
It works for either of us.
Okay.
So at each player's turn, if they control creatures with 20 power total or more, they get 4 amber.
At the beginning. Okay. All right. Fine.
Yeah. All right. Instrument of Silence. This creature gains Skirmish and Fight, gain an amber. Okay. Then check this card out. This is crazy. Punctuated Equilibrium. Play. Each player discards their hand.
Hold on. Can I just check your opening hand here? Did you just happen to pull all
A
color?
5-card Untamed. This is crazy.
Dumb.
All right, check this out, though.
Stack it.
You're not ready for this. Each player discards their hand,
Oh, great.
then refills their hand as if it were their draw card
So I
step.
just lose a card. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
So I'm going to discard. And I'm going to draw 6. And it's still my turn.
That's just unbelievable. Man, I'm about to go side cam on this one, man.
Welcome to KeyForge, baby. All right, then we're going to play a Deepwater Gruin. I get 2 amber. And it says play or reap if the tide is low, which it's not. my opponent gains an amber. So I'm currently, just so for people keeping track, I'm at 12 power. And then I'll pass to your turn.
Okay. That's about, we did about equivalent.
I think it was a similarly powerful turn, yeah.
Why do you do this? Now, here's a question. If something says, let's just say I have a card that says, do something to the highest power creature. Let's say 2 creatures are 5 power.
Mm-hmm.
What does that do?
You choose.
Just straight up, I don't get hit both?
No.
They're both the highest power creature.
None of it says choose. What does it say?
Nothing. It says, do something to each creature with the highest power.
That would be each. Yeah, both of them.
Both of them would go.
Absolutely.
Or would have an effect happen to them.
Yeah.
In the theoretical space.
Hypothetically, that +1 counter is going to get real annoying real quick, isn't it? It's okay, darling.
Okay, well that's something to look at, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Okay, and then we've got that. Okay, and then we've got that. Okay, so sure, man, let's do it like this. Let's do it like this. Let's start with, we're going to declare Sanctum as the house. We're going to play first or last, which actually looks like a Saurian card, which is interesting. It says choose one. Is this a Saurian card in the wrong house?
No.
It's just got dinos on it, just to confuse me.
They're being attacked by these swords.
Oh, it's like the comet, but it's just swords. I'm going to purge each creature with the highest power.
What's it called?
It's called first or last. Okay, well, that was good. Easy.
Powerful, yeah.
Okay. Then we're going to play Bulwark. There.
I love the Bulwark.
Has Assault 2, and each neighbor gains Assault 2 as well. Then we're going to play Badge Magus. Deploy anywhere on the battle line. Fight. Ready and fight with each of Badge Magus's neighbors one at a time. Mm-hmm. So we've got a bit of a scary line here. We're going to pass to you, and we're going to draw it.
Okay. Interesting.
Yes, who's laughing now? Who's laughing now? Great. We love it. We love it. And we love it. Okay. Interesting. And how do we raise that? 3 chains to raise the tide?
Well, right now, I don't even think it exists. So if you have low tide, you can gain 3 chains to raise the tide.
Okay.
But you have nothing right now.
Currently, the tide is immaterial, a concept.
Non-existent. Yeah.
Simply a concept. Purge is removed from game, by the way.
Yeah, I have
if you didn't know
this
that.
pile over here. Yeah, you just tear them in half.
What happens to the thing that was attached to it?
It gets discarded.
Okay. Doesn't get purged?
Mm-mm. I know some things.
I forget you played a lot of KeyForge. You played a lot of everything.
Let's go down this line.
It's always fun just to see what happens, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just one of the nice things about KeyForge is like there's just low pressure.
Yeah.
And you draw a hand, and you're like, how bad can I make this for my opponent?
Yeah, it's cool.
Let's play a Maelstrom. Put each creature on top of its owner's deck in a random order.
You can raise the tide from neutral, apparently.
Really?
Yeah. Don't know how that works. I mean, raise the tide, gain 3 chains, I guess.
Put each creature on top of its owner's deck in a random order.
Each creature.
Each creature. I put mine on top, but I get 2 chains.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. You'll see why in a second. It's fine.
You want to cut?
I'll play a portal. If tide is high, it's not. It would go into my archive. So let's put that right.
Thanks, dude. We got an adapter coming for that too. Press the orange thing.
I'm gonna play a flash freeze, even though it's not doing anything for me.
Oh, you got it. Yeah, you got it.
I get an amber. Check this out, dude. It's funny to watch. You ready for this? I'm gonna play Cop.
Oh, come on, man.
He's an evil twin. I cannot play more than 1 card of each type per
Is
turn.
it technically cope? Like taupe?
I don't know.
T-A-U-P is taupe.
I'm not the pronunciator.
Cope would be funny because I have to cope with it.
Well, you better start coping. 7 strength. I can't play more than 1 card of each type each turn.
This has got to be insane then.
Fight, reap. Discard any number of cards from my hand. For each card discard this way, deal 2 damage to an enemy creature.
K-A-U-P-E.
The evil twin version.
I feel like I'm fighting against an infinite PvE deck.
Then I'll pass to you. Remove a chain, and I'm only going to draw back up to 5.
I need to destroy you. You can just do 2 damage to everything, is that right?
Well, for every card I discard. So I can do 10 damage. I can reap for 1 amber and do 10 damage.
For the rest of the game.
Until he's off the table.
Yeah.
Wild Wormhole. Oh no, not evil twin. Cope. Cop.
This is that's so good.
Yep, you better have something that just blows him up. Otherwise, your board is going to continually get wiped.
Oh my gosh. This is horrible. All right, fine. Wipe on. Let's go Star Alliance. We're going to play a Sabotage mission. Keys cost +1 for each different power value among friendly creatures during your opponent's next turn. You're not going to forge, I don't imagine, but maybe you will. I'll gain 1 power there.
People in chat saying that this is a bad card.
Bad?
And it makes sense. It's restrictive. Because you can only play 1 card of each type.
You just do 10 damage and reap every turn and see what happens.
Well, in this particular scenario...
Shows you later. Going to capture an amber from you.
Yeah. Before he dies.
Yeah, don't worry. He'll definitely live. And Operative Espion here as well.
Alex, cards do still have the effect when you play a different house. Yeah. So you can't just like go a different house and only do one thing. Mine?
Yeah.
I'm going to activate Unfathomable. I know. Unfathomable indeed. Check this out. I'm going to play another portal. Gain an amber. It goes into my archives. Because tide is already high. I would raise the tide, but if it's already high, it just goes to my archives instead. Then I will reap. And we're going to discard here, do 2 damage. Discard here, do 2 more damage. Discard here, do 2 more damage to get rid of it. Yep. And then I will say check. Because I have enough amber to win the game. I mean, to get a key.
Hey, easy now.
We'll lose a chain, draw back up to 5. And pass to you.
Is a portal a token?
Portal is a card, action card. POUR-TAL.
Oh, I get it. Pour.
Yeah, it's like it's pouring out, yeah. Oh. And I make the tide high by
Gaining 3 chains.
okay. Yeah, that's acceptable, don't you? That's totally acceptable. That's totally acceptable. Okay. I think we have to do it. We go boom, boom. But we really do need you to die, man. We really do. We really do, man. Okay, can we keep you off a key? First question. No, cannot. Second question.
Sweet, sweet glory.
Can we play for the future? Not really. This is the turn. This is an important turn. We gotta put some heat out here. These are annoying. These are annoying enough to be annoying. Okay, let's go Sanctum. We're gonna play Badge Magus in the middle there.
A classic, really.
We're gonna play that Bulwark. You've seen these cards already out there. We're going to raise the tide for 3 chains.
Mm-hmm. It's a whole lot of chain.
After a player raises the tide during the turn, they may use a creature they control. So I'm going to use this to reap. Then I'll play Strange Ordination, gain 3. Put you in check.
Ooh.
Who's laughing now? And then I'll pass the turn, lose a chain, draw 5, up to 5.
We'll get a key. We're forging now.
2, 3.
Start of my turn, I will put my archives in my hand.
You too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Don't you see?
Can't you see?
How about we don't put that in my hand then? Just let that hang out for a second. Buddy that.
I like that Energy Sun Temple radio. Appreciate that. Can't you see? Oh, that woman. Is that how that goes?
That's
You guys remember it like that as well? Yeah?
Yeah, weirdly.
The Eddie Vedder version?
Oh, man.
I had that first Creed album, though. I did. Jars of Clay? Or is that the band? Wasn't it called something Clay?
There's a band called Jars of Clay.
I've been collecting all of the CDs from my childhood because I'm in that phase of my life. What is it called? Creed albums. Let's look at that. It's really Human Clay is what it's called. It's really good for a week or so. I think I had My Own Prison as well. Everything's so moody in the 90s. You know, like it was just a different vibe, wasn't it?
Going back, I listened to Soundgarden.
Soundgarden, yeah. Different vibe.
Even.
Different vibe.
To Louvel, how do you feel about competitive KeyForge? Are tournaments fun? Are there any memories? So,
are there any memories? That's hilarious.
None. I played competitive KeyForge for like 3 months before the pandemic.
What does that mean? Like adaptive or constructed?
Just
or when?
actually
I guess they don't have
testing, and then we had a regional at our store.
Trying to find the best deck.
Yeah, and be good with your deck into other really good decks. And that was just Archon format. So you bring your own deck to the tournament and you play. It was a really good time. My favorite way to play still was KeyForge Steel on Tuesday night, but it was fun. The way they had formatted the World Championship was really, in my opinion, cool. If you qualified for Worlds, you actually had to bring a team of 3 people, and you were like the captain of the team, but you still had to bring 2 other people and play.
Nice.
Like a best of 3 scenario. It's really interesting. I'm gonna go Sanctum.
Okay.
This is a crazy decision, but we're gonna,
we love it.
I like to win quickly, so here we are. I'm gonna gain 3 chains and turn the tide.
All right.
And
you get to use something. It's tempting. It's tantalizing, isn't it?
It's really I'm gonna use this thing. He's going to reap. Actually, you know what? No, he's going to fight. He's going to fight here.
Okay.
So...
you take 4, I take few.
Yeah. This goes away at the end of the round, right?
No, dude.
It stays.
Yeah, it's forever.
Yeah, it takes 4. It takes 4. We're good. I'm going to play...
Do you want to undo it?
Yeah, I'm good. Strange Ordination.
Hey, you have one of those.
Yeah, here we are. I'm going to... Oh, when he fights, I'm going to actually discard 2.
I'm sorry, you missed the trigger.
Discard 2 and do 4 damage.
Excuse me, you missed the trigger. I'm sorry, but you can't just go back and play. I mean, you missed you missed the window. We all know that guy, right? Don't be that guy. Who'd you kill? Did you kill somebody?
This thing. Yeah. Then I'm going to play an Evil Twin, Larry of the Lake. While the tide is high, he has 5 armor.
Right, got it.
Just put that out there.
Hard to deal with.
Yeah, he's Larry of the Lake, don't you see? Then we go to the end of the round. This race, I will draw 1 last card because I've got the chains here.
It's forging time. I choose to use my infinite potential. Okay, use a friendly non-star. Okay, don't have that. Don't need that. So we can't play this card. We could play this card, and problems would be dealt with. Or we could do a little board. Play some board. We could do some board stuff. I think I gotta play for the future. Forget about the past.
Wow. Ah.
So you can discard 4 cards and effectively undo what I've done. That makes that a problem.
Just punch him, dude.
Well,
be done with him.
it's just like, man, it's so bad to just play 1 card. It's so bad in this game. I absolutely hate it. Can I abide 1 more turn? You reap, you pay for... Yeah, you just... No, there's no way you can do that. You can't do it. All right, I'm just going to choose Sanctum. I'm going to deal 3 damage with a Hammergram and kill the Cope.
To here, he gone.
The end. Turn over. Drawing up to 5.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's bad. What are you supposed to do? I could literally play 8 health worth of stuff was my best play. You choose that, you reap, you discard 4 cards. I've done nothing. You've gained an amber and anything else you have in hand.
Yeah, it's bad.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna play.
There's a lot of cool ideas in this deck. A lot of cool ideas. Jeffrey, Zach was able to fight with Coat because of the text on Operative Espion, which I have on my side of the board, which is a liability of sorts. So after any player raises the tide, they can use a creature they control, regardless of house.
All right, I'm going to play, this is funny play on words, all tied up. Creates an amber. If the tide is already high, I get an extra amber. I wish I had a picture. I guess I do of the live stream, but from this angle, your face. When I play that,
I have no cards that are good like this.
you're in the 55s down there, buddy. Then I'm going to play Youngest Bear, Evil Twin. When he reaps, I can fight with one of his neighbors.
Wonder which one you'll choose.
And then I will pass to you saying check. I draw 1 less card because I got chains. And it's over to you.
Check, huh? So I need a card in my hand that does something about that. I'm going to play Saurion. Consul Primus coming in hot here. Since they're Philo coming in the other side there, cannot be dealt damage by creatures with amber on them. Then I'll play a great location called Imperial Road. It has an Omni ability. I can play a Saurian creature. It enters play stun, but I can do that on any turn. It's an Omni ability. So I can churn out one Saurian turn on an off turn for Saurian, but it comes in stunned.
That's nice.
And then I'll pass.
That's a great card.
It is theoretically a great card.
That's where's blue key next.
Does it matter which ones you forge?
The only reason it matters is if you have the Red Baron.
What if I did? Wouldn't that be funny? Just like...
I don't think it was in this set, but yes. That would be very funny in its own kind of way.
Don't have a pop for it?
Don't have a pot for the Baron? I don't think we've seen him.
Wouldn't spoil it like that anyway.
I guess we go Untamed.
Yeah, I guess is good. That's good for me.
You have no amber to steal.
Now that's just called strategy.
It's like that Eddie Murphy meme. He's like... All right. X-Wing players. I'm going to reap with Youngest Bear. Get an amber. When I do, he says, I may fight with one of his neighbors. I'll fight with Larry of the Lake, Evil Twin. We're going to attack that 3 health thing, whatever it does.
Don't even need to care.
Well, it's because it's just the only thing I can kill, you know. We're going to play Old Patty, Evil Twin. He has a reap ability. I can discard the bottom card of your deck, or bottom 3 of the Tidings High, and I can destroy a creature that shares a house with one of the discarded cards. Then I'm going to play an Evil Twin Chelonia, Turtle Man, Elusive. After I play another creature, if the tide is high, your opponent loses an amber, which you didn't have any amber, so I could have played him first. But
yeah, do that, but I guess I can't lose one, yeah.
So it didn't much matter. All right, end of the turn. Everything ready. I lose my last chain. I go up to 5 cards, and it's over to you.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it?
Wild Wormhole saying that my side of the board looks wickedly cool right now. It's all Evil Twins.
It does look quite cool. Yeah, it does look quite cool.
And they do one of these Kylo Ren.
A lot of threats there, bro. A lot of threats.
I'm gonna be real honest, my whole goal right now is to get to 20 power.
It's, yeah, you have the breathing room to play a side game because I have no threats.
You love to see it though, honestly.
What about the next half of my deck is really the good half?
There it is.
Maybe that's what.
Perhaps the good cards are all on the bottom.
It's just a little clumpy.
A little clumpy. Have you tried Matty P's consistent random shuffle?
All right, let's play for keeps here. After you play another creature, if the tide is high. Okay. Then we've got this. Okay, and that. Unfortunately, a 5 for 5 is a problem. All right, let's start off with the little Star Alliance. We're going to play a Biome Discovery. Otherwise, raise the tide. Gain me an amber. And because I just raised the tide, I can use a creature I control. Tell me what old Patty does there, if you would, please.
Old Patty?
Tell me what old Patty does there.
Discard the bottom card of your opponent's deck, or the bottom 3 cards instead of the tide is high. Destroy a creature that shares a house with one of the discarded cards. Van, the card is called Primal Relic.
That's too good. That can't be allowed. I'll use, sorry, my existential problem there. Sensor Philo 5-on-5 there.
Oh, old Patty's gone.
It's a clean trade. Use a creature, but that doesn't mean, man, this card is good, but it's not good here. Let's play an away team. And then I'm just gonna discard Unity or Discord. I can use a friendly non-Star Alliance creature. I already got the use out of the Dino. If it readied, it would be good, but it's just used, so I can't use a exhausted creature.
Couldn't you just exhaust, like, Reaper that thing?
But then I couldn't fight with him.
Oh, you want to fight right now?
Well, I wanted to kill Old Patty. Old Patty must go.
Oh, he's Star Alliance. Okay.
Yeah, neither of these abilities are actually ready. They just let you use.
Yeah.
So I can't use the same thing twice. I could return friendly creatures and each upgrade to their hands, which I could do, and then replay if you'd like to see that. And then those guys will stand up, and I will draw.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You're good.
What do you got? Am I missing something?
I thought you could put him back in hand, play it, reap again, but you can't use a creature when you play it. Yeah. So there we go.
There's no readies. No readies in this house.
Oh, this goes away.
Yeah. Unless you just raise it again, you know?
Well, perhaps I will. Start my turn.
Oof. Yeah. Bless you.
I'm going to put my archives in my hand.
Okay.
We're going to play Portal. Gain an Amber, raise the tide.
Sorry about
Portal. Portal. P-O-U-R-T-A-L. You get to use a creature.
Oh, fun. These are right.
Yeah.
I'll reap here.
Yeah.
Which lets me fight here.
Yeah.
And we'll fight the... no, he has 5 health. I only do 3. Doesn't much matter, does it?
Yay!
That's fine. Then I'm going to play an Abyssal Zealot.
Is this forever? Like every time you play a creature?
It's if the tide is high.
But if the tide is high, every time you play a creature, I lose an Amber?
Yep. Which I either have to have a card that raises it, or I have to gain 3 chains to do it, right? So, like...
yeah, I'd play the card if I were you. Like one of those portals you seem to have 20 of.
Yeah.
Good
Well,
job.
I had that in
You
the
did it.
archives earlier. That's been there for a minute.
Gained you an Amber too. It's crazy.
It's real good.
Pretty good.
Okay, I'll pass. Draw. Look at the art on this card. Fuguru. F-U-G-U-R-U. Fuguru.
So it's like Figaro, but Fugaro.
No, dude. Look at this guy. This one.
Ooh. Yeah, he looks cool. I've seen that guy
He's the
before.
Foo Guru. I also got Bubbles. Why do they call him ... Never mind. Look at that guy.
It's about to happen, dude.
What's about to happen?
I've been playing for this the whole game. All right, let's play Epic Quest. Archive each friendly night creature from play. Doesn't happen.
It.
If I happen to have played 7 or more Sanctum cards, I can forge a key at no cost. But I'm just getting out of my deck.
Yeah.
It ain't happening.
It's a shame you don't have more nights.
It is a shame. Grand Melee. Destroy each creature that does not share a house with at least one of its neighbors.
He got me.
I believe that's all of yours, if I'm not if I'm calling it correct.
Full sweep. Nailed it. I was trying to be friendly over here with all my creatures and...
All right, Sanctum here. We'll do... oh, wait, hold on. Maybe I should... maybe I can Epic Quest. I don't know. Do I have a knight in here? Sure, dude. I'll do it like this. You know, since I missed that window a while ago. I'll play Light Everlasting. Play a Sanctum creature anywhere on my battlefield. Let's go here. And then we'll Epic Quest. to archive this guy. No, I don't even want to do that. I didn't want to do that. I did it right the first time. This is all I want. Play Light Everlasting, gain an Amber. I want bodies on the table. I don't want to archive them, right? We need bodies. Let me make sure this is the right creature to play. Yeah, everybody getting Assault too is pretty good, but everyone getting Ready and Fight is pretty good too. I will leave this. I will leave that there. Okay, done.
Over to yours truly.
Finn, yes. I still don't have an Imperial Road to trigger, unfortunately.
Start off with Bubbles. When I play it, put an enemy creature on top of his owner's deck and put him on your deck. No, wait. Yeah, let's do that. It's fine. Then we'll play Fuguru. He's got poison. Also, you refill your hand to one less card at the end of your turns when he's in play.
I do what?
You're going to get rid of him, but...
Refresh my hand to one less?
Yeah. And then over to you.
Okay. Easy. Okay. Hey, this is good.
What up, Dylan?
This is good. Okay. We can live with this. What's up, Dylan? Yeah, we heard about Lorcana. Yeah, Lorcana. Interesting. It looks really good. I would love to find out more about it. Okay, you're not in check yet. That doesn't matter yet. We throw this in. We throw that at you. Deal 1 to a creature for each house among creatures in play. How many houses are represented? 3? 3 represented. 3 houses. Okay, easy. Yeah, okay. Understood. All right, let's do Star Alliance. We're going to play Zap, gain an Amber. Deal 1 to a creature for each house represented. There are 3. I'm going to deal 3 to Fuguru. Done.
Be gone.
Then we'll play Rocketeer Triska. While the tide is high, Rocketeer Triska's neighbors interplay ready. That's interesting.
Jared asking if there's going to be Covenant subscriptions for Lorcana. I don't know. Way too early for that.
That'd be
Want to
great.
check it out.
I'd love that. Okay, and then I'm going to trigger Imperial Road. Play a Saurian creature. It enters play stunned, but it enters play ready because of Rocketeer Triska. Not the right token. And then I'm going to break the stun open.
Yep.
And then with Operative Espion. Oh, Bubbles, you know, what's the...
Oh, you can apparently split that damage.
Oh, I can.
You can do 1 and 2 or something.
Oh, I'll definitely do that. 1 and then 2 there.
Yeah.
It won't matter, unfortunately. Because even if I attack here with Assault 2, I would take 5 and also die, which I feel like is not ideal, but I may as well put the damage there. And then I'll Reap here for Star Alliance.
Mr. Meow, can you play this with 4 players? I don't know of any multiplayer, but the cooperative version you definitely can, like the PvP solo, PvE.
All right, and that's me.
What board you got going on there?
I'm starting to try to get some permanence, you know?
All right. I'm going to go with Unfathomable.
Okay.
We're going to Reap. I'm going to play Sink or Swim. I'm going to discard a random card from your hand.
Oh, Dino in play could be 3. Yeah. Do that. 3 damage on your bubbles there. Play the Dino first, and then you do the zap.
Big bang plays.
Then Operative could attack Assault 2 and not die. But we're not going to do that.
It'll only not matter that much in a second.
Well, you wouldn't have been able to reap, I can tell you that much.
This card here.
It's a taxing journey. Was deleted.
Right. Then we're going to play another Maelstrom. I get 2 chains. We put all creatures in play randomly on top of our deck.
Randomly, eh? Very nice. Appreciate that.
You got to have a little flair, you know?
Wait, can't remove stun on Dino, not his active turn. Oh, right. He just comes in, but he can't actually, it won't matter.
It does not matter now.
So that combo is bunk.
You tried.
I tried to make it better. You have the Tide, right? Or you reset it whenever you play that card?
No, I had the Tide, I think.
Yeah, you got it.
I didn't touch nothing. Then I'll end the turn. I only draw up to 5 because I have chains. Oh, weird. I didn't think that was what I would draw. There's a creature I just put on top.
After reap, Bubble should exalt. Who's Bubble?
Bubbles is my character. Was there something you have in play that makes him...
Yeah, I think the Dino made him exalt, but then he'll go back on top, so it won't matter. But
well, if he's exalted, you get the Amber when he leaves.
Is that what happens? After a creature reaps, exalt it. And then I get it?
Because he leaves play.
Because it's like you captured it.
Yeah.
Cool. This game's thick, actually.
Surprisingly simple, yet also the depth is there, for sure.
There's a lot of weird little interactions in there. Okay. So when my stuff gets exalted, you get the stuff if it dies?
Yeah. So exalted is like capturing, but proactively. So you don't take it from your opponent. You just are generating
You just get it, and then they often get it. I think, sadly, unfortunately. So we need to make sure that you can't forge a key at some point ever.
Literally ever at any point, ever.
Okay, well then. All right, fine. We'll go Star Alliance. We'll go Away Team. And we'll throw an Officer's Blaster on that. We'll gain an Amber for our trouble. He has +2 power. So let's just get that going. And then if it's destroyed, I can attach it to the creature's right neighbor, or I can also put it into my archives, courtesy of Away Team there.
Okay.
And then I'll use Imperial Road.
Much value.
And then we'll stun Venator Altum. If the Tide is low, which it is, after you dealt damage, you exalt it, which is not good.
That could be really bad for you.
Yeah, it's super bad.
Yeah. Just don't let the Tide be low, dude.
But it is low, though.
It's 3 chains later and you're good.
All right, and then I'll pass to you there.
3 chains. This is a low penalty for ultimately the value here.
Yeah, it gets crazy value.
All right, we're going to do this. I'm going to play I'm going to go Sanctum. We're going to play Badge Magus. Are you familiar?
Oh, yeah, I know that one.
I'm going to also play Gatekeeper. The playability doesn't matter because you only have 5 Amber. But then I'm going to play Taxing Journey. So I gain Amber. A friendly creature captures 1. Each of its neighbors that shares the house with it also captures 1, so they'll each capture 1.
I'll take care of that at some point.
Then I'll pass. Lose my last chain, draw back up to 5.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, understood. That goes away. That goes away. Whee!
Whitaker's hand, is this coming to retail? I hope so. So KeyForge is already at retail. You can find those decks locally sometimes online. There are plenty. I think there's 4 or 5 sets out. Let me think. Call the Archons, Age of Ascension. What was the 3rd set called? What's the dinosaur set?
Age of Dinos?
third set had dinosaurs in it.
Worlds Collide?
Worlds Collide, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
And then Dark Tidings, I believe. There may have been one more in there. Mass Mutation, there it is.
Okay. All right. Let's just have a think for a second. You know what I'm finding is I have very few cards that give me amber when I play them. And that is often a problem.
Yeah, that is like checkpoint number 1.
Yeah. Okay, so
someone asking if it's going to be an Italian. Apparently, it's if the campaign hits 500,000, and I'll link to that in the chat right now. Then they will make it in Italian. It's at 415,000 with 14 days to go, so not bad odds.
Okay, you're threatening second key.
Third key,
rather. Right?
I'm only
the
at
big
5.
one.
I'm not there yet.
But you're threatening.
I'm priming the pump, as it were. Z-Masters, someone said earlier the SAS score of these decks, mine is like a 60-something and Steven's is a 50-something, which is playing out in the score currently, but it's not over.
I need just one slightly better.
Oh, less keys. Where are the blue pitch cards?
Okay, so if I throw this in, then none of that matters. So that's not going to happen. So this is going to happen. So we're choosing Star Alliance. By the way, we're choosing Star Alliance. Okay. Okay. Good talk. And then we can go here and here. Okay. There's no clean way to do this. It's driving me insane. Let's go Imperial Road. Play a Saurian creature, enters play stunned. If our creature reaps, exalt it.
Wow.
It's a stun Dino Factory. Then we go here. Rocketeer Triska. Okay. Then we're gonna raise the freaking tide.
Chain gang. Bow.
Then we're gonna play Operative Espion. He comes in ready. It really there's two different ways to do that because he also wants the tide to be high. But
couldn't you play him, raise the tide, use your dino to remove the stun?
You could, but then I'd have nobody ready to do this thing. Does that make sense? Like, for him to come in ready, I have to have the tide high when he's played. That makes sense?
I see.
Otherwise, he comes in sat down.
Yeah, I got you.
Because I'm going to need to kill your stuff. I'm going to do...
I'll read that.
4 here.
Yeah.
Get that back. And then I'll take 7, do 7 here to 5.
Okay.
And I'll take 5.
He cleared my board.
Yeah, and I get these 2 back. And then I'll pass to you. And I'll draw 1 less card.
Aaron Clark asking if we have favorite houses. Untamed is probably my favorite, actually.
Oh, really? I always liked Shadows.
Some of the Shadows
and
are
Logos.
funny.
Really dig Logos, actually. It's just weird. It's just weird. Okay, there's some play in these.
Alright, let's go Unfathomable. I'm going to play Bubbles. And we're going to put that on top of your deck.
Play abilities. Oof.
We're going to play Portal Monger. While the tide is high, my opponent's keys cost +4.
Okay.
And then I will pass to you.
Okay. Okay. 4 or lower. Friendly creature. Okay. Okay. From a creature to another creature. Got it. Got it. Power 4 or less. Okay. Understood. I just gotta keep you. I gotta try to make you not able to do anything. Lock out that board, you know? Gotta try to lock out that board. Oof. Yikes. These are not the best cards.
Oh, apparently you had 20 power out. So if I hadn't disrupted you, like if I hadn't put a card back out, you would have gained a 4 amber.
14, 19. I could have sat that guy here, but I figure you're cool enough to know that. But yeah, you destroyed the thing. We were that close. That close.
Yeah. If I'd been paying attention and you did have it out, I could have also put him back on top probably to like make sure you didn't have it. But I didn't notice that at all. He almost got me my own card.
Yeah, this deck is really good with your card because it's all just like high impact dudes that come in stunned.
It's a shame it's not in your deck.
It's a shame, really. What if we chose the dinos? Well, if we did that, let's go ahead and de-stun these boys. This is technically ready.
These boys?
Won't much matter.
Remember when discard was the house?
I do. Let's play Decadence. Exalt, ready and use.
Wow.
Friendly creature, so we'll do 7 to this guy. I'll take 3 in return because I'm an Alma. Amber runs dry, man.
He's this close.
And then
I guess you could have reaped hypothetically.
Let's just. Yeah, I could have. I just am looking at 5 Amber Zac over there. I'll do a crushing charge, destroy each creature with power 4 or lower. I'll gain a chain.
Oh, nice.
And I'm just chained for the rest of the game, and I'll pass to you. Maybe you have no way to generate Amber.
Seems about right, doesn't it? It's about time, finally. Just a non-amber turn.
Definitely don't have any way to generate 1 Amber.
0 ways, I can tell you for sure. Let's play an Evil Twin, Sir Bever. 5 armor, 1 power, poison. The flavor text, you should have picked on someone your own size. He's itty bitty. He's inside of someone's helmet.
Cool. Cool.
We're going to play Larry of the Lake. We're going to play some shoulder armor here. Gain an amber. While this creature is on a flank, it gets +2 power and +2 armor. I mean, how much do I think you can't do anything about it? Let's just play it. Heal 1 damage from each creature.
1, 2.
Gain an amber for each damage healed this way.
Woo-wee.
Just testing you. Let's go ahead and raise the tide.
Wow. You did all the things.
And then I will pass to you and say check.
Okay.
Lose a chain. Drawing.
So, Holosecco, is there a competitive community for KeyForge? Playing this game was always really fun to think through. Yes, there is. Yeah. And especially now, it's coming back. Christian T. Petersen, founder of Fantasy Flight Games, started an indie studio called Ghost Galaxy, bought the rights to KeyForge, and is now on Gamefound. So it's coming back. And I imagine it will bring with it the crew, some amount of the crew, new and old, to play it competitively, if you will. So let me just run this down.
Can you take a quick break?
This card does not steal or otherwise capture amber.
Or raise my cost to forge, or
It doesn't do any of
suddenly
those
forge
things,
you 2 keys. Okay.
This card does not do that either. It's a great one for Primal Relic, though. Last card in the deck. Rocket Triska, of course, doesn't do that. Grand Melee destroys creatures that don't share a house neighbor, so I could
Destroy your creature.
hurt me. And Bulwark doesn't do that either. So we've run down the checklist. Now, is there anything on the table? I don't see anything. Do you see anything?
Yeah, I don't. Not a thing. Yeah.
I think you did it.
So this game is actually a really good example of 2 of the common critiques against KeyForge.
It is true.
Yeah, which is worth pointing out.
It's a
One
blast,
is
though.
at the end of the game, a lot of times, you take a turn knowing you can't do anything about losing, and then your opponent wins almost reactively, not like proactive. It's not like I make the final move.
Yeah,
I made the final move a second ago,
you did.
and there is tension in that I don't know if you can stop me.
Yeah.
But that moment when you realize you can't is like a little bit of heart sinking because you just feel helpless.
Yeah, it's just like, I can't do anything. There's not a mechanic to take an amber with any kind of like framework action.
Yeah, you just,
for instance.
you just know it's over.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is my opening hand I play 5 cards.
Yeah, totally.
Which
That's true.
So that is a common, like, hypothetically, I gained an advantage pretty quickly.
Sure.
I played 5, drew cards, played another one, and drew again.
Yeah, that could have gotten way out of hand. Can you
Yeah.
imagine you played all 10 or something?
If I had 3 more untamed cards, it's just like too much.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of ahead. Plus, again, it's unique deck. So I had a lot more amber generation in my deck, I think, than hypothetically you did. But part of what makes KeyForge great is, like, if you play a deck a couple times, you start realizing how your deck even possibly gains amber.
Yeah, you're supposed to win.
And that actually changes your play pattern. So, first time on any deck, you can't really judge anything by. But there is, if you have there's a system for rating decks, and it's called SAS. That someone developed SAS. And, if you're in the 50s versus a deck that's like 75, which the disparity here was only like 8 points.
No, it's not. Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
And it definitely didn't feel like a landslide. But I did feel like I was just consistently, like, look at this, in my hand. If Tide's high to gain 2 amber.
Give me those amber cards, man. Those cards that make amber when they get... That's a critical component of the SAS score, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Just strictly how much amber do you generate just by playing your cards?
Yeah.
Because you can always reap with a creature to gain an amber, but the cards you just play, it's like you can always do that, no matter what your opponent does to you.
Really speeds things up. I think this is a pretty solid Imperial Road pile here. You've got 6 dinos to play. You've got the 1 Imperial Road. All the rest of your Saurian effects are pretty like control-y. Like Exalt Ready and use friendly creatures. So 2 Decadence here, a Crushing Charge, destroy everything with power 4. That's good. Got 2 of those, 2 Crushing Charges. So effectively board wipes. That's about as good as, that's a pretty solid spot for the Saurian side of this deck. Like basically if you get that Imperial Road early, and maybe you mulligan for it, you play it out, and then you start dropping these stun dinos on the board, and then at a certain point you take a big turn where you unstun everything. Maybe on that turn you can play like Crushing Charge, you can try to get rid of your opponent's board a little bit, and then you can like have this Saurian presence all of a sudden. That's pretty good. I feel like I've got the operative Espeons here. I had the 1. He just, I guess, entered play a bunch, unless he's in here. I feel like I had 2, but I don't.
Imperial Road, by the way, just for... If you think about, if you played a dino on a dino turn, they would interplay stunned.
That's only if you use the ability, though, yeah.
Well, like, they interplay stunned on your turn. Like, if you're not using this, just in general, when you play a creature...
And just play, like, tapped?
They interplay tapped.
Mm-hmm.
So, the fact that you can play Saurian creatures on off turns, and then just remove the stun when you actually do finally go Saurians, it's kind of the same thing as playing them on that turn, You just get to empty them out of your hand all game.
And that they do nothing the turn they're activated.
Anyway. Yeah, but in that case, like you saw that later in our game, that's the kind of card if you start the game with it, it makes so many of your turns so much more even.
Yeah.
Because you have that one Saurian creature, you play 3 here and get rid of that, and then you just keep filtering.
It's super strong. I felt like that was the strongest thing that was going on. And then Unity or Discord is a great card. I mean, I just didn't have the board to set that up. That's actually a really good way to start unstunning your Saurians too. User-friendly non-star alliance. Unstun.
Apparently, by the way, the SAS score wasn't really ever dialed in for Dark Tidings.
Huh.
So people are saying they have Dark Tidings decks in the 50s that hold their own against 80s from previous sets.
All right.
Because the game we were in kind of pandemic mode. They didn't really dive into it.
Let's go. I will say I felt really out of tide raising cards. I feel like I definitely was losing the tide raising battle across the course of that game.
Well, and partially because, check this out. I totally agree with you. I had a couple of the cards that did it, but specifically, I have 2 or 3 copies. Let me see. I have at least 2 copies of Portal. And when the tide's already high, I can... Oh, there's... So I have 3 of this one card. Gains me an Amber, raises the tide.
Yeah, oh, that's so good.
If the tide's
that's so good.
If the tide's already high, I get to archive it.
Yeah.
So then I can just hold it until you raise the tide.
And you just Amber generate. Yeah. That's
then,
crazy.
Like, yeah. Super
Ooh,
good.
that's really good.
That's what I had with the guy who I can only play 1 card.
Yeah.
So there were a couple turns where I just put this in hand, played it again, Amber, and used him to clear your board. And this goes back to archive.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And if you ever game 3 chains to raise the tide, I can always just pull this back and play it.
Yeah, it's so good. That's so good. You don't want to be paying chains to raise the tide. You just don't want to be doing that. So I think Imperial Road is probably the strongest part of this deck. We even dropping like Laphosaurus in there in the middle. Like taunt, like use Imperial Road, put the taunt, keep playing your faction stuff so that they're safe. There's some pretty cool stuff you can do there.
Also, how cool is that art?
It's awesome.
Steve Ellis?
Truly great. Hey, we know Steve Ellis.
What do you know Steve from?
That's a real... Didn't he do some...
Sorcery?
Did he do sorcery? Or are we thinking of... Wait a minute, Hold on a second. He's not... Didn't Steve own a shop? Like own a game store?
Maybe.
Steve Ellis. Let's say Steve Ellis art.
That's cool looking art. It's like a distinct style, the Laprosaurus.
Yeah,
Lapis-saurus.
he's a very known quantity. Artist, comics... won awards for High Moon, Only Living Boy, as well as his work on AMC's Breaking Bad, The High Cost of Living game, Marvel, DC, Blizzard Entertainment, Wizards of the Coast, taught drawing in Syracuse. Okay. I swear we've met Steve before. He's done art for stuff that we've been involved in.
Yeah. I just saw that name, and because the art it's different. So I looked at the name and definitely familiar.
Is chat helping us with that? No, I don't think so. Anyway, here we go. You know the thing about it?
I could do this forever.
I could do this forever.
Open a new deck, play a game or 2.
Like right now, what I want to do is I want to open another deck and play again.
Yeah.
Or play that exact thing again.
All the above.
You know, I can do that for a long time.
Yeah. I also have a lot of decks you've never seen.
There's just a lot of strength in this. I wonder how it's going to work out in the end. Like what the ultimate vision of KeyForge is under Christian T. Petersen.
I think we should definitely post Kickstarter, have him on for another discussion. Because I know in the podcast, he seemed a little, not cagey, but like reserved in terms of...
He wasn't sure I was going to go.
Yeah.
I think he genuinely did not know how good it was going to go.
I bet he has ideas, but didn't want to commit to... This is what we're thinking, unless the level of support makes sense to do that. Whether it's like on a podcast, I'd love to sit down on a video with him again. Like if I know they're supposed to be hosting stuff at the Game Center. I haven't been to Minnesota in a while, so
dude, you want to go?
Go up there, get a tour, play some KeyForge.
Let's go.
Talk about the future. Anyways, I'd like to talk to him again once the dust has settled a little.
Yeah.
Because I assume the plan for KeyForge will very much get defined. But one of the things that is like a really good sign to me, the PvE scenarios at Gen Con sold out like immediately. And like I've been saying, I think one of the best ways to play this game is Tuesday night sealed, or whatever night that your store plays.
Whatever night you'd like to do it.
That's just when we were doing it.
Sure.
In the store. That's in my brain. It's like Tuesday night sealed is the best way.
It's like trying to make Friday Night Magic.
Well, so I think the key here is
TNS.
We talk about this a lot with organized play and tournaments and Magic and all that. I think that Magic's success is what allows it to do the organized play that it does, which is good marketing for their community, like the Pro Tour and the Championship Series and stuff. I don't think the Pro Tour and stuff is what makes that game successful.
Right.
I think it's Friday Night Magic.
It's like one or the other.
It's Commander. Right? I think it's a ton of people who just enjoy playing the game and collecting it and doing whatever.
So then you would posit that the role of the Pro Tour is to create more Commander players.
I think the role of the Pro Tour is to market the game.
But if you're saying that the main result of all of this Magic marketing is casual players at Friday Night Magic, then the point of the Pro Tour is create Friday Night Magic players.
In the end, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it just creates, like, even Flesh and Blood, you're seeing it, where it creates a discussion. There's a ton of people that will never win a national championship. National championships are happening right now. And it's like, oh, Oldham's good again. I'll try Oldham, right? Or, like, and gameplay videos to watch, or just discussion points to have. And how effective it is at doing that, I don't know. But I do know that you need the base of people that are just playing the game and enjoying it. KeyForge does that so well. Like sealed events, I think the PvE cooperative stuff, solo mode, really relevant for that front. And you will have some people that want to be competitive and you can have an OP track and stuff. But like I said, I think this game presents a really, no pun intended, unique long tail for local spaces to host events. And there aren't a lot of games that do that very well.
Yeah.
Because, like, even Magic, whether they're selling direct through Amazon or deep discount online retail, they got rid of MSRP. It's very competitive to be a store that is, like, trying to sell Magic, and that's how you actually make money.
Right.
So one that can so easily bake in sealed, and, like, anyone can show up and play, and you don't need to own anything.
I mean, you can make the argument that any sealed collectible game is in the same boat, yeah? I can go get 3 packs of Magic right now, totally. Have no collection.
It's one of the upsides of CCGs.
It's just, basically, it even removes the deck building from sealed. So, like, it's even more approachable. I guess that's one thing that is a relevant difference, is to do sealed Magic, Fab, Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever. I don't even know if Yu-Gi-Oh has sealed. I know nothing about Yu-Gi-Oh. We've got to play it on stream. I want to play Yu-Gi-Oh and find out. But you still have to have that deck building component. You still have to have a decent amount of understanding before you even get to the table and learn the rules, these kinds of things. So for KeyForge, one of the cool things is that even if I've never played before, I can get into the sealed event and then I can learn the rules of the game, like, as I'm going. Yeah. Not that you want to do that in an official sealed event. But I don't have to get through what can often be the slog of how do I even compose a deck before I can get myself to the table. And it does that very well. And it forces sealed to really kind of be, it's how all of us start playing the game. There is no other option, right? I can't just buy 20,000 packs and then put it together into a deck list that somebody sent me online and then be like, okay, I can play competitive now. Yeah. Totally different vibe. How that's leveraged though, man? How is it leveraged? The unique deck game is only getting started. There's something here. There's something amazing here. Between that and SoulForge and whatever comes next, I think somebody is they're going to continue to hone on this model, and then it might be that something pops in a way that others haven't, or it might be that it just slowly gets perfected until it's like, this is what this is. Like the CCG is now a pretty known quantity. Yeah. Booster packs, et cetera, et cetera.
I mean, it is really interesting to have a format or a game format where you can have a pre-built deck that you buy for $12.99. That is the pinnacle of what you need to compete. Yeah. Like, it's very different. Because, like, in Magic, you do have sealed. And you have to have a certain amount of deck building to do that. But even if you want to go play in a tournament, if you did want to do that.
Right. A constructed tournament requires a lot more than what you just did in a sealed tournament. Yeah. Whereas you could take the same sealed deck you just used and go play in the World Championship. Whatever's going on. Yeah. Which is notable. That is different. Yeah. And also, any deck you open, that is another interesting thing, is that same old row, like, any KeyForge deck that I open could be the best deck in the world. That's never going to be the case with 3 booster packs. Yep. It's not even conceivable.
And you never have a back catalog you have to have.
Right. Like, yeah, it's true. One deck 20 years from now could could get you there.
And one of the things early, and this is still, it's a good question, and I'm curious what the solution is on this that Ghost Galaxy is going to present, but Christian seemed to hint that they had a pending solution for the decks that ultimately end up not being your favorite or not that good, and some way to use those. PvE and co-op already does that, because
It'll do some of that.
now it's not just maximized around how fast can you gain Amber. There are other objectives, right? Even a deck with a ton of big creatures might be useful in a scenario, whereas in a competitive scenario, it just might not gain enough Amber.
Yeah.
So that's already cool. But what they present there is notable because, like, even as a player, like I have, after giving away a lot of decks, I think I cut down to 50 decks. So I already have 50 decks. And every time a set comes out, I get more decks. And of course, Sealed, part of what makes Sealed fun is that this unique mix of cards in that set is different. So it is a different experience. But there is still a waning how many decks do I actually want to have.
Yeah, it gets harder and harder over time to get a spot.
Collectible game has rotation. So old cards kind of go into old format, whatever that is, legacy.
Or unusable, effectively, which is funny because, like, it's kind of an advantage, but not at all, because, like, KeyForge, you're rotating yourself. I mean, you know, it's like, these are the decks I'm rotating out of my collection. Yeah. Whereas other games, like, these are the decks that everybody must rotate all at once.
Yeah, forcibly.
Yeah, so, like...
It is interesting.
It is nice that I could have a Call of the Archons deck and actually use it.
Now, one thing I'm curious about when they announce OP stuff is the FFG plan was to only have, like, the last 3 sets of decks legal at the major tournaments. So, like, Call of the Archons would eventually rotate out, which I found odd because they had the chain mechanism.
Why would they do that?
That could rotate the decks out that are good from those sets anyway. Unless they thought those early decks were, like, just overpowered. And there's let's say there's 1.5 million of those for that first set out there. If that set never rotates, people that have access to those, that were around and bought those, may have, like, a weird... But even then, I don't think
that's right at all. I would not rotate this game in any capacity.
No. Now, having the chain system,
yeah,
where a thing doesn't become playable at locals anymore or regionals, and then like it's only a world championship level deck or something, that's cool. Like I think that's what you should be doing, if anything.
Yeah, totes. Let's see. We got some final comments from all of you out there.
That man saying that rotation, by the way, was only for Vault Warrior.
Okay, good. Sophie was so good, says Rick Dury, which is great. Rick, glad you're catching up. So start the stream here. Daniel Carlson, can it be that it just was too much, KeyForge? Just too much that people got fed up, or a bit of people got elite and the rest just didn't want to commit? I don't know what that's in relationship, Daniel. Sorry, my chat stopped a lot earlier. Give us some more context if you'd like. Captain KeyForge said, I played Flesh and Blood and I liked it, but I don't like that characters get banned after so many wins. A KeyForge deck will always be valid for tournament play. So that was an important distinction.
I'll tell you, that rotation for Fab, one of my favorite things.
It's killer. Yeah,
we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Captain KeyForge again saying, I went to a KeyForge event after having played 2 games, went 3-1, finished 3rd, and that was with my first deck. And that is an incredible selling point, ultimately, to anybody. As Central Radio saying, good value. Terrence saying, KeyForge is a fun, casual game. Even a recycled draft would be fun. Everyone bring a deck, hand it to the left, play. Those kinds of things. It just takes intention to do it. And a lot of times, whatever's easiest is the thing that happens. Yeah. So buying a new deck for a retailer is way preferable to bringing a deck.
Yeah.
So usually you'll see those kinds of events happening. Michael Rushing said they played a tournament where everyone brought their worst deck and swapped with someone. So maybe like a random other person.
Agonizing.
Which is quite cool. Wild Wormhole saying, I'm constantly handing old decks to new players. I actually love that I can make someone's entry fee before they ever spend $1, which is really great.
I did that. And it wasn't even like, oh, these are the low SAS scores. It was just, these are the decks I'm not that interested in.
Yeah.
Whether it's the house combinations or the way it plays. There's probably 30 people that I handed 4 decks to at some point.
Yeah.
Just to, like, back in the Tuesday nights, people are like, oh, what's this? Interested. It's like, oh, here's some extra decks.
And if you give a deck to your friend and they give a deck to their friend and they give a deck to their friend.
Do I get 5%?
Pretty soon, everybody's playing KeyForge.
Yeah. It is appealing.
And Zach gets 5%. That's right.
It's like a super
frontline, low
barrier of entry way to get like a full card game experience.
Yeah.
Which is great. Because there is definitely... like depth here. Even you were talking about turn sequencing, mechanical depth of what's going on that is hard to achieve for a $12, $13 deck.
Totally.
It's pretty cool.
Totally. And you think about Richard with Magic, KeyForge, and Mindbug, and it's like all variations of the exact same idea. Neverwinter's way different, you know. For instance, Soulforge pretty different with the lanes and stuff, but like these are all just like play things on the board and try to build advantage. Yeah. And it's kind of funny to see all of that happening in different formats.
Join us next week. We'll be playing one of the PvE scenarios. I'm very much looking forward to that. Congratulations to Ghost Galaxy and the team over there. Very excited that you're bringing this game back. And shout out to Christian for being willing to go on the interview with us. Definitely check out the podcast and the interview. I think it's worth listening to if you care about KeyForge. And just so happy to be back, honestly.
Yeah,
this is a game I did not necessarily think was going to see light of day again.
That's right. Catch us next time. Hop on that subscription if you want Winds of Exchange and beyond. And if you already have it through the Gamefound, then hop on it after the Gamefound and all of that. And Winds of Exchange has moved through. And we'll be here for you. Ready to serve you some boxes if you want it. We'll see you next time. Pre-order that playmat if you want. Take care, everybody. Bye.